Welcome to the Farmers Union Insurance pregame show. Today, I'm joined by Kobe Brault and Evan Epstein, and we are getting ready for Game 2 this weekend against the Austin Bruins. So obviously, last night, Toros won in Austin, Minnesota, as well as we saw a hat trick by Gavin Middendorf, so that must have been exciting to see in person. Best case scenario, we leave Austin this weekend with the weekend sweep. What are y'all looking forward to seeing tonight? How was the game, being able to witness the atmosphere and everything last night?
Yeah, it was a rocking crowd over here in Austin. 1,894 was the recorded attendance, and it was buzzing pretty early. Let off with that fight with Davin Nichols. That was a great way to start the 4-game series against these guys. And then not much scoring in the first, but like you said, Middendorf getting it done, Svedin getting it done. That was a classic case of the old saying, they don't ask how, they ask how many. Toro's getting outshot, and Austin had a ton of chances, but Toro's still walking out of there with the 2 points and the 3-1 win.
Scored two of their goals, the non-empty netters, the same way. It was breakaways for Gavin Middendorf, and Middendorf was able to capitalize on both opportunities. And on the other end, Lucas Svedin was simply too good for the Austin Bruins. 50 saves on 51 shots, preventing opportunity after opportunity as Svedin and Middendorf led the way last night.
Yeah, great performance by our Toros last night. So let's take a look at the recap of last night's 3-1 win over the Austin Bruins.
First period started off with a bang. Davin Nichols dropping the gloves with Tyler Shaver, as Nichols clearly getting the best of Shaver in that fight, landing a couple of big blows. And then throughout the first period, no scoring, but you take a look at a couple of highlight saves from Lucas Svedin that was able to keep it scoreless to the first intermission. In the second period, Gavin Middendorf gets going for the Toros, comes off a defensive takeaway from Ian Spencer. Spencer feeds Middendorf, who takes it up over the glove of Jack Solomon, and the Toros are up 1-0. Next breakaway goal for Middendorf comes from a Billy Batten takeaway. Middendorf fed ahead. This time, he fakes like he's going to go up over the glove once again, pulls it back, and takes it through the legs of Solomon to give the Toros a 2-0 lead. Toros took a 2-goal lead to the second intermission. In the third, the Bruins on a 5-on-3. Ashton Bynum moving into the high slot, firing one in through traffic. Puck had eyes of its own as it got by Lucas Svedin, making it a 2-1 game. But Svedin would continue to lock down, as would the Toros defensively. Gavin Middendorf picking up the hat trick on the empty netter. Toros win 3-1. Lucas Svedin, 50 saves, just 1 goal allowed.
All right, well, now let's turn our attention back to tonight's game with a look at our updated Noodles numbers brought to you by Noodles & Company of Minot. So with last night's win, our Minotauros are 39-12-1, as we still stand at second in the Central Division, as the Austin Bruins are 36-11-5, as they still stand at third in the Central Division.
Yeah, and you look at the numbers going into tonight, pretty similar, favoring the Toros a little bit, I'd say. But if it's the same reffing crew as last night, that game was called, I thought it was called well, but not a ton of power play opportunities either way. So it'll be tough for these special teams units to get out there and make something happen. Obviously, Bruins get that power play goal off almost a full 2-minute 5-on-3. But outside of that, there was not many chances for the special teams units out there either way.
You look at the standings, and the Toros now have 2 points of separations between themselves and the Austin Bruins, and that takes a lot of weight off their shoulders going into Game 2 on the road. I think it's pretty evident that this is going to be another defensive battle. I expect it to be a low-scoring game. 1.94 goals against per game for the Toros, 2.04 for the Austin Bruins. Those are two of the best numbers in the league. Expect another low-scoring affair here in Game 2.
All right, we'll be back with more of the Farmers Union Insurance pregame show after a quick word from our partners.
The puck, the net, the crowd, the moment, a chance to make history. Just like that perfect play, we're here to help you win at your financial game. At Great River Federal Credit Union, we offer competitive rates and innovative technology designed to empower you to achieve your goals. Become a member of Great River and score a $100 bonus when you use promo code Hockey100. Visit greatriverfcu.org/Hockey100 for details and open your account. Member NCUA.
Welcome back. It is time to look at our Minotauros Booster Club players to watch. I'm going to kick it off with my choice tonight of Adam Mahler. So he's had 1 goal and 5 assists against the Austin Bruins this season. He did only have 3 shots on goal last night, but I think something a little not usual happened last night. We usually see 32 or more shots on goal done by our Toros, and that just didn't happen last night. So I think that small number of shots on goal by Mahler can be plugged to that. But I definitely think with how we've been talking about defensemen and watching out for defensemen in general, as well as Mahler being our best defenseman on the team scoring-wise and point-wise, I think that he's a great player to watch tonight.
Mahler's biggest impact on this game comes in his size and his physicality. You saw how physical the game was last night. He laid a couple of big hits on the Austin Bruins, got called for 1 penalty, but given the amount of hits that he was able to deliver, it was a great game from Mahler last night. Mm-hmm. My player to watch, I'm going with Lucas Svedin. Talked about it during the recap. Svedin is one of the primary reasons the Toros took home a 3-1 victory in Game 1, bailed out the Toros defense on a couple of occasions, and I think you could compile a month's worth of highlights from just last night's game. That's how good Svedin was.
Yeah, Svedin, unbelievable all season. Last night, maybe his best performance of the year so far in arguably the biggest game of the year for the Toros. For me, my Minotauros Booster Club player to watch, I'm going Jordan Gibbs. You talk about Mahler, you talk about the size of the Bruins. They got 4 guys listed at 6'3" or taller, 4 forwards, that is. So the defenseman unit for the Toros, a little undersized going into this matchup. I thought that Jordan Gibbs did a great job last night getting the puck out of the defensive zone, taking a hit to make a play. I think he did that over and over again. I think he's going to need to do that again tonight if the Toros want to get the weekend sweep. Also, fun little side note, Gibbs' his 100th NAHL game tonight, all with the Toros. He's been a staple on the defensive units for the last 2 seasons. And, so shout out Jordan for 100 games, and hopefully he can continue the momentum from last night.
Yeah, big accomplishment for Gibbs there. And that'll bring us to our home key group keys to the game. We're doing it a little different today. As you can see, we do not have Ken Oda here. Usually they are his keys. We are splitting it up. So, Evan, what is your key to tonight's game?
In the circle, controlling the puck starts in the face-off circle, which is an area where the Toros struggled yesterday. They lost the majority of the face-offs, and as a result, the Austin Bruins really controlled the puck for most of the game. That led them to getting more shots on goal. Toros didn't score in the conventional offense. It was 2 breakaways for Gavin Middendorf. You'd like to see them control the puck, see a little bit more of a conventional offense that leads to a few scoring chances tonight.
Yeah, piggybacking off of your key there, Evan, I'm going with take control. We've mentioned it a few times on the show so far. Toros got the win despite getting outshot 20-8 in the third period and 51-29 in the game. Obviously, that 20-8 a little lopsided due to that 5-on-3 that they had, almost a full 2-minute 5-on-3. But they got to do a better job of keeping the puck in their offensive zone. It felt like the ice was tilted towards the Bruins' offensive zone for a lot of that game last night, and hopefully Sweets can make another 50 saves, but you don't want to bank on that. So I'm going with take control. Hopefully the Toros do a little better job of controlling the puck tonight.
All right, and with my key, I'm going to nod a little bit toward Ken Oda with a theme, trying with Connect 4 here. The entirety of interviews that we've done on Toros All Access with either head coach Cody Campbell or assistant coach Tyler Ebner, they have talked about 2 points, 2 points, 2 points. Connect 4, obviously you need 4 in a row to win. That is what the goal was coming to Austin this weekend, was to get 4 points in a row. We did that last night. We had our first 2 pieces that you need to win Connect 4, and tonight we need those last 2 pieces in a row to come back to Minot and be able to play the Austin Bruins on home ice next week. And honestly, the rest of the season, I think we kind of need to be looking at our games each weekend as a Connect 4 board of if we can connect these pieces in spots that need to be required, in the sense that we are playing teams that are also still fighting for playoff positioning and or are currently in the playoffs but are still fighting for whatever position they need. That we need to put our pieces into place very specifically, and tonight we need to get those last two pieces to connect the four for the weekend.
That's a great key, Lauren. Actually, great keys across the board there. I think we made Ken Oda proud there.
I hope so. All right, we'll be back with more of the Farmers Union Insurance pregame show after this commercial break.
If RPMs raise your BPMs, if the open road is an open invitation, then get up and go. Go turn some heads. Go turn a wrench. Go windows down. Go volume up. Go in. Go out. Go off. Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
Minotauros fans, it's time to check out your mobile phones and pull up the Taros mobile app for your chance to win prizes throughout tonight's game. Starting with our Four Bears Sportsbook over-unders. Our first one tonight is total Taros first period goals over-under 0.5.
I'm going to go with the under here. This has been a physical and defensive first game, and I think that continues tonight. I think we are going to see a low-scoring game. I've got it going 1-1 into overtime, and I think it's a scoreless first period on both sides.
I'm going to disagree with you there, Evan. I'm going over here. I think the Toros are going to come out buzzing, get an early goal, and take the wind out of the sails of the Bruins. You know the Bruins are going to push back. They've been doing that. That's kind of their brand under Steve Howard, especially after a Friday night loss. That Saturday night, they come out hitting early, very physical, like you said. It may be low scoring, but I do think the Toros are going to get the first goal of the game, and it's going to happen in the first period.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about momentum throughout this entire season and how it goes from one weekend or even one game until the next game. And I definitely think that with what resulted last night with the hat trick off Gavin Middendorf and just how our defense operated last night, I definitely think that we are in the good area to have a first period goal. So I'm going to go over. Our second one is total fighting majors called over under 1.5.
I'm going to go under here. I know we started with the bang last night. No doubt about it. Nichols getting the best of Shaver, as we mentioned on the recap. But I think tonight, both coaches, both teams are going to, look at the gravity of what's at stake here. You still got three more counting tonight against the same opponent. You don't want to lose, especially the Toros already, kind of short on the defenseman side of things. I think you don't want to lose a guy going into next weekend. So I think it's going to go under. I think that it'll be a very physical game, maybe some pushing and shoving after the whistle, but I don't think anyone goes unless there's an egregious hit.
Yeah, we kind of talked about this yesterday where I said I think one of two things are going to happen on the ice, and it's either going to be very clean hockey or not so clean hockey. And last night, within the first 3 minutes, it was not so clean hockey. And I definitely think with how next week needs to go for both teams, honestly, they need to be at full strength. And I think if both coaches are thinking that same thing, which as they should be, that I think the Fighting Majors are it's going to be an under just because of what happened last night, as well as the fact that these teams need to think about the future and not about just tonight. So I definitely think it's going to be an under.
It's going to be a clean sweep for the unders here. The difference with Davin Nichols and Tyler Shaver was they both kind of knew when it happened. They both immediately dropped the gloves before they fight. They both had an idea that they were probably going to be ejected and that it wasn't going to lead to either side becoming shorthanded. Whereas you saw a lot of chippiness toward the latter part of last night's game, but you saw that neither side wanted to drop the gloves and throw just in case that would lead one side to becoming shorthanded. Once again, I think we could see a rough or two, but I don't think we're going to see a fight.
Yeah, I was going to say, actually, from watching it from home, you could even tell during that play, the face-off, I believe it was Jack Edwards at the face-off, and he even looked over to them of like, oh, what's about to happen? Like, it was like both, everybody knew what was going to happen there. But yeah. And then our last one is total empty net goals over under 0.5. I know we saw one last night. I don't see it happening again tonight. I think that both teams are going to keep goalies in net, and it's going to be a closer game than what we think it's going to be. I mean, Evan obviously thinks 1-1 and then a shootout, but I do think that there's not going to be any empty net goals. So under.
I told you 1-1, it's going to overtime, right? So that means there's not going to be an empty net or tie game. Both goalies are going to stay in the net. Interesting to consider, if it is a one-goal game, you are probably going to see a goaltender leave the net. So could go either way, but as stated, I'll go under.
Yeah, I'm going over here, just, exactly what you said there, Evan. I think it's going to be a one-goal game late. I think Austin's going to have to pull the goalie late to try to get her tied up like they did last night, and they almost did. Honestly, they had a couple of good chances there when they pulled Solomon. So I'm expecting something similar tonight. Give me the over on that one. And that will lead us to our McDonald's Toros trivia question. Our Toros trivia question tonight, and we don't have Ken Oda, the Toros historian, on today, so I don't think any of us know this answer. But who was the first Toro to record a hat trick against the Austin Bruins? Was it Blaine Warnert, Chase LaPinta, Nick Armstrong-Kincaid, or Johnny Walker? You guys got any guesses?
I do not know the answer like you just said, so I'm going to go with the name that I recognize, which is B. Chase LaPinta. I think that's a good guess.
Johnny Walker was very productive with the Toros, like you just said. Absolutely no clue here. I'll go with Johnny Walker.
And Ken Oda's not the only Toros historian. I know a lot of our fans that have been around from the beginning probably know this answer. This will be a layup for them. But everybody, go ahead, get your guesses in. You can win a free meal from our friends at Dakota Drive McDonald's. You can pick that up next weekend when we're back home against these same Austin Bruins.
Well, Kobe, what's your guess? Since you don't know either.
I'm going Nick Armstrong-Kincaid. He had a great season for the Toros, and I don't know. I when in doubt, guess C. We've said that many a time on this pregame show.
All right. Well, Kobe, Evan, do you have any final thoughts for our second game in Austin this weekend?
Yeah, I'm excited to watch another 60 minutes between these two teams. Last night was a fun one. Obviously, you're hoping on the defensive side to not give up 50 shots, but I feel like that was the Bruins' best punch last night, and the Toros still walked out of there with 2 points. So I think it's going to be a much looser and, free-flowing Toros team, because we already got the split in hand. So hopefully they can come out, make a statement tonight, and further distance themselves from that 3 seed.
Be working off that point. I think you're looking for the Toros to play with a little bit less weight on their shoulders to try and get that puck into the Bruins defensive zone and try and control the majority of the first period, something they failed to do last night. However, we saw what the Bruins could do offensively. They just couldn't find the back of the net until the third period. It's going to be a tough one tonight. It's going to be a defensive battle, and I'm excited to see game 2 really out of 4 in this 2-weekend stretch against the Austin Bruins.
All right. Well, thank you guys. And that'll do it for Farmers Union Insurance pregame show. We'll send you out for one more break, and then Kobe and Evan will be back with the drop of the puck right here on the Minotauros Network.
We often think of frontiers as pages in a history book, a time gone by. But even in this modern world, there are new frontiers to conquer. Whether you're tending the land to grow a better tomorrow or growing a business for new opportunities, the work you do powers the world. Exploring the frontier means stepping forward, shaping the future for yourself and for those around you. First International Bank and Trust, helping you live first, one step at a time.
When you carry blue, you get a devoted team backing you up, focused on you and your well-being, making it easier and affordable for you to make health a priority. When you carry blue, you get a health plan that anticipates your challenges, that's helping shape the future of healthcare, with more helpful tools and resources so you can get the most out of your benefits and focus more on living your best life. Find your plan today. Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Dakota. Carry blue, carry on.
I am Melissa Mack, and I do collections and loans at Aspire Credit Union.
My name is Amy Rasmussen, and I am the Member Experience Coordinator at Aspire Credit Union.
I think it's very important to give back to our community to show that we care. I think that we're very good at showing our members we care, and they see us out in the community.
What I like most about working at Aspire Credit Union, it is very family oriented. We feel like one big happy family, and Aspire knows that your family always comes first.
I'll always remember when I first started, I showed up to work and my whole office was decorated in Mexican theme because I was going to be going to Mexico. I remember just being so shocked and like so honored that they did that for me. I just think that's really special that Aspire allows us to develop those relationships with our coworkers.
We do a lot of fun things. We have the best potlucks ever. Kind of brings us together and everyone just kind of helps each other out.
Aspire to more.
When facing disaster, it's not just the things we lose, but the memories. But there's hope. ServPro, with decades of experience in Minot and Bismarck, is always ready. Our certified professionals don't just restore homes, they rebuild lives. Because to us, you're not just a client, you're family.
If RPMs raise your BPMs, if the open road is an open invitation, then get up and go. Go turn some heads. Go turn a wrench. Go windows down. Go volume up. Go in. Go out. Go off. Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
Circle Sanitation is a locally owned family business providing quality waste hauling services since 1980. We provide service to residential and commercial customers, as well as roll-off service for large projects and construction sites. We are dedicated to providing excellent service at competitive prices without deceptive contracts or hidden fees. For more on what Circle Sanitation can do for you, call us or visit circlesanitation.com.
And the horn sounds. Toros, our Central Division champions. Drives in. Ian Spencer. Takes hands off far side. Shrugged away by Lucas Sweat. He shot it in. Toros win. Shot it in. Toros win. John Evans is second of the night. Is there a better place to play junior hockey than Minot, North Dakota?
Hello, everyone, and welcome into Riverside Arena from Austin, Minnesota, as the Minot Minotauros get set to take on the Austin Bruins for Game 2 of this series. Hello, everyone. I'm Evan Epstein, joining you here from Riverside Arena. The Toros picked up a huge 3-1 victory over the Austin Bruins last night, putting 2 points of separation between themselves and the Bruins. Toros in second place, 3 points back of the Bismarck Bobcats, who had a shootout win against the St. Cloud Norsemen last night. Let's take a look at the SRT starting lines. Well, you know the drill. Toros win, lines stay the same. Adam Mahler, Landon Fleming on defense, John Small, Ian Spencer, and Gavin Middendorf, who had a hat trick up front. Lucas Vadine in net. For the Austin Bruins, it's the Hirschfeld line as we're underway from the Riverside Arena. Fleming back in the Toro zone, looks up the near wall for Spencer, gets by and floats deep into the Bruins zone. Elbert picks up the puck, spins away from John Small, turns near side, now gives it back. Resetting behind the cage as the Bruins work the puck into the neutral ice. It's Jackson Riley on the right side. Long shot kicked out to the far wall. Another long shot comes up behind the goal of Svedin. Pass through the slot. Spencer got a stick on it. Middendorf takes it on the far wall into the neutral ice. Hands to John Small. Small taking off the puck, and it floated beyond the blue line before Small got his stick back on it. So offsides against the Toros with 19:21 to play in the first period. Offsides brought to you by our friends at Affinity First Federal Credit Union. Austin Bruins, just to finish up their starting lines, it's Hirschfeld, Sprates, and Riley up front with Gus Elbert, Nathan Williams on defense, Carl Axelson between the pipes tonight. For the Austin Bruins, Perreault whiffed on the dump and stays in the neutral ice. Batten poking it forward. Now Perreault able to shovel it around the boards. Axelson greets the puck, hands to Bynum, comes far side for Lipset. Bynum sends it back around. Bruins have it deep in their zone. Malkasian looks across, couldn't connect with Beckwith. Gibbs gets back to it in the Toro zone.
Ohannesson now picks it up far side, moves it into the neutral ice. Reaches Reynolds. Reynolds near side as this puck pinballs back and forth in the neutral ice. Comes to Reynolds off the stick of Malkasian. Far side. Gibbs took a hack at it along with Lipset as the puck becomes a souvenir with 18:38 to play in the first. They'll bring the drop out to the neutral ice. As we take a look at the numbers from Lucas Fedin, those are the season numbers, but last night, 50 saves, 1 goal allowed from Svedin, moving to 28-10 on the season. One of the primary reasons the Toros picked up the Game 1 victory yesterday. He was terrific. Bruins have it move into the Toro zone. Mellgren shot, played to the side with the stick of Svedin. In the near corner, comes up on the half wall. Mellgren and Yahala chop away at it. Comes out to Parker Newman. He has Jack Edwards on the right side. Edwards flips it down into the corner. Mellgren turns it around on the half wall, taken back beyond the goal line by Ryan Lund in the Bruins zone. Malkasian near side. Edwards blocked the pass. Malkasian gets it now to Paddington. Paddington enters the Toro zone, far side, taken away by Hubert Clark. Clark now starts up on the left side of the ice as he'll float one all the way down. No Toros able to chase that one down, so icing goes against the Toros with 17:55 to play. Icing brought to you by Minot's Finest Collision Center. They'll bring the face-off, looks like to the left of Lucas Fedin. Toros already getting a few changes in. The Edwards line already has come over the board, still on the ice, as Hirschfeld's line, the starting line for the Bruins, is back out there. Ty James flips it up into neutral, gets by Bynum, and it's played back to Bynum by Axelson. Up the far side of the ice, Hirschfeld has it, cross-ice pass, connects with Sprates in on the right wing. His shot guided away by Lucas Fedin and up into the netting. And Kobe, I need your help here. Did the clock not run there? The clock says 17:37, and unless I'm losing it, I'm pretty sure that's what it was at the last whistle. But nonetheless, 17:37 to go here in the first period. Riley in the circle with Leo Sabulis, and Sabulis able to get it back for the Toros. Fleming backhands it around off the stick of Jochums, comes into the neutral ice. Sprates turns it around off the far wall, taken by Adam Mahler, turned over to Jackson Riley. Riley turned off the puck. Mahler takes a hack at it in the skates of Sprates. Now Mahler and Sprates still tied up as the puck comes deep into the Toro zone. Svedin picks it up, gives it to Landon Fleming. Fleming off the stick of Sabulis, who's able to take it away. Sabulis from the left wing, shot goes wide off the glass. Mahler can't keep it in the zone. He'll race down to get it in the Toro zone. In the far corner, Svantesson applying pressure, comes back near side, Landon Fleming. Fleming with Day on his back, gets it too far in front of Noah Gibbs. Williams sends it across. Bruins into the Toro zone, in on the left wing. Quick shot, squeezed by Lucas Fedin. Gus Elbert racing down from the blue line into that left face-off circle, getting a good look on Svedin. But once again, Svedin makes the stop with 16:42 to play. Elbert taking it from the neutral ice, a great move to create an opportunity in front of the net. Small's line back out. Trace Day in the circle with Small. Traditional setup for the Bruins on the faceoff. 2 to the side and 2 up top. Middendorf has it, takes it into the neutral ice. Looks for Ian Spencer, couldn't keep it on the tape as Williams sends it back off the wall, stays in the neutral ice. Svantesson able to push it down deep into the Toro zone. Svedin will spin it far side for Tui. Looks across, he has John Small. Small back across far side now for Middendorf, who'll backhand one around the boards. Axelson grabs the puck, looks far side, now comes back for Cherry. Cherry to Trace Day in neutral, handoff. comes back for Cherry. Cherry driving in on the right side, lets it float around the boards as the Bruins were going for a change. Tui up the far side into the skates of Middendorf. Middendorf working away from Malkasian, an errant pass. Cherry couldn't get his stick on it as Melgren fires it back around the boards. Far side, Ryan Lund trying on the one-timer, but he whiffs. Puck floats down into the Bruins zone. Lipset near side looks up for Malkasian, tipped off the end of his stick down to Lucas Vedin, who will leave it for Ty James. James starts up ice, far side, gives to Ohannesson. Ohannesson pokes it forward into neutral. Yahala couldn't keep it as Billy Batten takes it back with space for the Toros. Batten in across the blue line, gives to Yahala. Yahala, his pass taken by Lund, who clears back to neutral. Clark now has Ty James. James from the center line rings it around the boards. A big hit with Lipset as the Bruins look to break out of their zone, and they do. Lorenza in on the right side. He rings it around the boards. Comes up on the far half wall, and a shot comes into the glove of Lucas Vedin with 14:57 to play. Looks like Ashton Bynum, who sent one in, came off a little funky off his stick. A floating puck towards Vedin, and with no one in the way, made for a routine save. But that does keep the draw in the Toros' defensive zone. And this time, Jesse Yahala gets it back in the skates of Fleming out to the slot, where it's taken by Adam Mahler. Mahler gives to Yahala in a dangerous spot in the Toro zone. Yahala able to control, though, sends it into neutral for Adam Mahler. Mahler working around Bynum, drives in, wraps around, and it comes out on the far wall. Yahala crashing in on the puck, but it's poked out to neutral. Fleming spins it around. Ohannesson couldn't keep it. Coming in now is Paddington in the slot. Shot gets blocked out to the near corner and sent through the crease once again, but Paddington couldn't direct it on net. Ohannesson now on the far wall. Yahala gets back to it, looks across, has Landon Fleming. Fleming into the neutral ice as he'll chip it down deep into the Bruins zone. Bynum, a long pass up the ice off the stick of Luke Malkasian, down beyond the goal line in the Toros' ends, where Kevin Perot's hit up by Jackson Riley. Edwards picks it up as Parker Newman's pass got deflected back down into the Austin end. Now it's Nathan Williams on the near side of the ice. He's looking for Sprates too far in front of him. Gibbs turns it around. Williams gets it back and retreats into the Austin zone. He has Ryan Lund across, near side off the wall for Sprates. Sprates on the right wing, off the skate of Kevin Perot. Hirschfeld back on it. Hirschfeld walled off. Edwards trying to poke it free as Riley comes in there to play it around the boards. Hirschfeld walled off by Jordan Gibbs. Comes to the near side beyond the goal line, now up the near wall as Melgren will send it back down for Hirschfeld. Jordan Gibbs applying great defensive pressure as Riley gets it back. Jack Edwards now getting physical. Picked up on the half wall. Hirschfeld inside, shot tipped into the netting. Jake Sprates in a dangerous spot, but Kevin Perot with some good defensive work to block that shot with 13 minutes and 4 seconds to play in the first period. Shots favor the Austin Bruins 5-1 to start this game, as Melgren has it taken away by Noah Gibbs. Gibbs races up the near side, turned away by Malkasian. Sabulis intercepts the pass in neutral, works to his right, and he'll send it around the boards. Gets by Axelson. Gibbs picks it up, sends one into a dangerous spot. Jacobs had redirected it on net, but the save was made by Axelson. Taken now by Malkasian. Hands to Lund. Lund in on the right side, takes it down to the corner where he hits the ice, quickly back on his feet, but Noah Gibbs is on the puck. Comes to Connor Tui. Tui moves in center of the ice. Too many defenders in the way, able to jar it free from Connor Tui. Malkasian now hands on the left side in the Toro zone, far corner. Too far in front of Day. Reynolds crashes in on the puck. Centers a pass, score! The Austin Bruins get on the board first here in Game 2 Luke Malkasian with the centering pass from Ryder Reynolds. Reynolds in the corner, and he fed Malkasian perfectly, as here it is. A great redirect from Malkasian as the Bruins lead 1-0 with 12:14 to play in the first. Action resumes. Toros control it off the faceoff. Fleming back in the Toros zone near side. His pass is intercepted. Shot saved by Svedin, loose in the crease, and the Toros take it away. Small has Ian Spencer from the center line, shovels one down. Bynum takes it back in the Bruins zone. Bynum turns up the near side, floats down. Fleming settles down, a bouncing puck. Jordan Gibbs off the stick of Ian Spencer by a linesman. Stays in on the right side of the ice, taken back by Cherry. He has Van Tessen working around Ty James. James, good defensive positioning, angling him away. Van Tessen down beyond the goal line. Jordan Gibbs takes it. Looks far side, kept in at the point. They're going to say it wasn't kept in by Gus Elbert. So offsides now on the Bruins with 11:26 to play. As offsides is brought to you by Affinity First Federal Credit Union. Take a look at some social media check-ins. Miller's watching from St. Louis. Neubauer's checking in. Corey's checking in from Glenburg. Sally B from Chicago. Bruins control. Williams moves across the blue line. Chips it down into the corner. Huber Clark gets there first. Clark backhands one up the far side for Ohanneson. Ohanneson had it tipped by Elbert. Bruins keep it in for Malkasian. Far side now. Williams tries a shot out in front, and Connor Beckwith couldn't locate the puck on the rebound. Williams sends it back into the Toro zone. James plays it down. James has Jesse Yahala. Yahala hands off to James. James moves into neutral off the stick of Ohanneson. Floats down. Axelson will play it up the far side. Jesse Yahala forced to retreat out to the neutral ice, back into the Toro zone. Yahala has Adam Mahler up to Billy Batten in neutral. Batten hits the deck, still finds Yahala with the pass, couldn't keep it. Comes out for Elbert. Elbert high off the glass. Mahler puts it down. Mahler getting boarded off by Connor Beckwith, and that's going to be a penalty on Beckwith. Adam Mahler got hit in the mouth, and Beckwith will go to the box as the Toros go on the first Western Bank and Trust power play for the first time this game. 4 officials out on the ice tonight. 2 head officials, as high sticking is the call against Beckwith. 2 linesmen, so usually a 3-man crew, but now 4 tonight, so every once in a while you might see an extra penalty, although that appeared to be the appropriate call there. Toros just 1 power play last night, came in the second period. They were 0 for 1. They did score right after that penalty expired on the Gavin Middendorf breakaway. The second Gavin Middendorf breakaway, you got to clarify when you score in the exact same way. 10:26 to go here in the first period. Comes down beyond the goal line, taken by Bynum, fires up the far side, got by the skate of Adam Mahler, takes it back into the neutral ice. Ian Spencer, center of the ice in the Toro zone, back into the face-off circle, leaves for Jesse Yahala. Yahala starts up ice onto the logo, taken off the puck as the Bruins quickly clear just moments after Yahala entered their zone. Mahler resets behind the goal line, now starts up ice. Jesse Yahala takes it up the left side. Yahala finds Billy Batten. Batten leaves back for Mahler, pressured by Van Tessen. Mahler whacks it around the boards. Up in the near corner, comes to the half wall. Lorenza there for the Bruins. Can't clear. Yahala top of the zone across the blue line for Adam Mahler. Back Yahala. And it's Mahler again. Yahala working in on the right side. Lorenza on his back, down to Batten at the goal line. Up top, Adam Mahler. O'Hannison's one-timer is blocked by Bynum. Puck stays in the corner. Ian Spencer pressed up by Bynum. Toros try and jar it free. They do. Up top is Adam Mahler. Back to O'Hannison. Spins it across for Jesse Yahala down to the goal line, far side. Billy Batten centering pass. Spencer couldn't find it, and it comes back into the neutral ice. Yahala plays it off the far wall. Billy Batten moves in on the right side. Toros get a partial change in. Braden Jochums just came over the wall. He has it on the left half wall, but it's taken away by Hirschfeld. Sent back around the boards. Jordan Gibbs hadn't gotten into the far point yet. Toros in the neutral ice. Middendorf shimmies across the blue line, takes it back out to neutral. Gibbs has John Small far side, just 13 seconds remaining on the power play. Noah Gibbs in the near corner, backhands one up the wall for Middendorf. Middendorf driving in on the left side, takes it back out to the wall, working away from Lipset as the penalty has expired. Beckwith out of the box as the Bruins take it up into the neutral ice. Beckwith on the puck now, moves in far side on the left wing. Shot gets lobbed beyond the goal line. Riley picks it up on the half wall, but Jordan Gibbs took it momentarily. Hirschfeld now from the corner sends one to the slot where Braden Jochums starts up ice. Jochums taking off the puck as Beckwith hands to Hirschfeld, sends one in. Quick shot, kick save, and it's knocked out to the boards. Riley with the opportunity. Now a shot gets tipped out in front. Beckwith with the redirect, but it didn't go on net. Taken away or cleared into the neutral ice by Gavin Middendorf as it's sent back into the Toro zone. John Small has it. Small resets behind Svedin, spins it off the wall for Ty James. Up the far side to Jack O'Hannison. O'Hannison in the neutral ice will flip it down into the near corner. Reynolds gets to it first, taken by O'Hannison, but O'Hannison can't keep it. Clark's one-timer blocked by Lorenza. Or that's Malkasian who's shaken up on the stinger. Puck jammed up beyond the goal line, comes free to Paddington. Paddington up the right side of the ice, moves into the Toro zone. Paddington trying to veer in toward the net. Left on the goal line and a whistle blows. It looks like we're going to get another penalty. This one's going to come against the Toros, however. Billy Batten will head to the box. A rough is the call on Billy Batten. Toros will go to the Papa John's penalty kill for the first time this game. They were 1 for 4 on the penalty kill last night. However, the Bruins power play goal came on a 5-on-3, and they had 95 seconds of a 5-on-3. Very tough to defend against that long of a two-man advantage. St. Patrick's Day jerseys, an absolutely magnificent design. They're still up on dashapp.io. We've got about 10 jerseys up there. Luck of the Toros Part 2, so make sure you're getting your bids in. The auction will be live until Monday at 9 p.m. Once again, those are some awesome St. Patrick's Day jerseys. So one last chance, if you didn't get a game-worn jersey and you're still looking for one, make sure to check out dashapp.io. Toros, Luck of the Toros auction part 2. After the media timeout, both sides skate out to the ice. 7 minutes and 2 seconds to play in the first period. Billy Batten in the box for 2 with roughing, as the Austin Bruins look to expand upon a 1-0 lead. They win the draw, comes up to Bynum, veers it to the top of the zone. Lorenza down to the half wall for Jackson Riley. Riley into the far corner. Toros laying off on pressure. Up top now, back down for Riley. Comes out to the corner, inside. And that one off the skate of John Small. Spencer skates into the neutral ice. Spencer with Riley on his back, able to veer one in on net, but Axelson able to play it back as the Bruins start up ice. It's Lorenza moving in on the left wing. Lorenza spins on the half wall, top of the zone. Went beyond the blue line before Ashton Bynum could keep it in the zone. Brings the faceoff out to the neutral ice with 6:21 to go, 1:20 to play on the power play. As we take a look at the Mosquito Joe Pest of the game, it's Alex Lorenza leading the NAHL with 75 points was the number, although we'll get you a look there as Chuck Owens hacking that one down the ice for Bynum. Bynum looks up. He has Malkasian. Malkasian across the blue line. Takes it up. Looking for help. Now down into the left circle. A minute to go on the Bruins power play. In the corner, Malkasian goal line. Centering pass. But Alex Lorenza was tied up with Jordan Gibbs. Gibbs with a good stick to keep Lorenza from getting off that short one-timer. Williams resetting behind the cage of Axelson. Toros getting some changes in on the penalty kill. Mellgren moving around Ian Spencer. Mellgren near side with two Toros in front of him. He'll wrap around the goal line. Far side where he hits the deck, and that's going to be a penalty against Adam Mahler. Delayed penalty, Axelson away from his cage. Centering pass comes out for Mellgren. Mellgren near corner down to the goal line off the far wall. Hirschfeld has it with space. Bruins trying to play keep away, but Hirschfeld taking off the puck as it was touched by Mahler, who will now head to the penalty box. He'll join Billy Batten for 10 seconds. So the Austin Bruins will have a 5-on-3 for 10 seconds, and then they'll have another 1:50 of a 5-on-4 as we take a look. Adam Mahler, a little bit of I believe a slash was the call there, and you saw it. He took a hack down at the shins. So the Toros will remain down. Now they're down 2 men for 10 seconds and down a man for the next 2 minutes. Up top for Malkasian, over for Bynum. Bynum in the high slot, spins it to Lorenza. Shot from Malkasian, blockered way up into the air, comes down in play. Billy Batten's out of the box, quick shot, comes off the glass. Up the near side, Lorenza keeps it in. He has Bynum racing in, tipped up into the netting once again with 4:49 to play. 1:38 to go on the penalty kill for the Toros. It'll be 3 minutes and 50 seconds straight on the kill with the 2 penalties. Predictably, shots on goal favor the Austin Bruins 11-4. Bruins a 1-0 lead with just under 5 to go here in the first. They'll redo the face-off between John Small and John Hirschfeld. Malkasian lined up, or that's Mellgren in the shooting hole. Up top for Williams, looks down. It's Malkasian, has Mellgren in on the right wing. His shot gets blocked and cleared down the ice by Jordan Gibbs, who might have taken one to the face. Down in the Bruins zone, Nathan Williams leaves it back for Mellgren. Mellgren whiffed on the pass, stays out in neutral. Williams forced to retreat into the Bruins zone. He has Mellgren far side into the neutral ice. Mellgren across the blue line, now driving by, stops, can't get away from Ty James. Toro's able to jar it free as John Small was trying to clear it off the glass. Puck a little bit high as it went into the stands with 4:11 to play, and that'll keep the faceoff in the Toros zone. Also leaves those 4 Toro penalty killers out on the ice. Ian Spencer, Ty James, John Small, and Hubert Clark. Draw to the right of Svedin. Paddington against Small. Comes back for Malkasian up top. Malkasian now on the half wall down to the goal line. Bruins trying to work the puck in front. Hubert Clark got in the way. Up the near side is Lorenza. Lorenza leaves for Bynum. Bynum moves in down to the goal line. Paddington, pass across, score! Paddington with a beautiful feed to the back door. As the Austin Bruins take a 2-0 lead in the first. A look at the replay. Paddington with the goal. And it was Bynum feeding Paddington. Austin Bruins able to convert on the power play as they take a 2-goal lead with under 4 minutes to play in the first period. Toros able to get it deep into the Austin zone. Elbert looks near side for Williams, sends it high off the glass. Sabulis keeps it down in the Bruins zone. Jockham's tied up near side. Puck floats beyond the goal line. Jockham's gets his stick in there. He lost his stick, and then Williams swatted Jockham's stick away. Taken into the neutral ice by Cherry. Moves it near side. Fleming got in the way. Sabulis and Cherry on the near wall fight for the puck. 4 players clawing away at it as Jockham's wins the puck battle. Mahler has Jordan Gibbs far side into the neutral ice. Off the stick of Sabulis and into the netting out in the near corner of the Bruins zone. Because it went off of Sabulis, it'll bring the drop out to the neutral ice. 3:12 to play in the first. Toros looking for a response, but they haven't been able to generate much offense. Just 4 shots on goal. Jack Edwards called off the draw. John Hirschfeld in for the Bruins. Hirschfeld played his first game for Austin last night as Owens gets it back. Comes across for Jordan Gibbs. Gibbs rings it around the boards. Up on the far half wall, Parker Newman sends it down for Jack Edwards, who's turned away by Hirschfeld. Comes back into neutral as Parker Newman will dump it in. Axelson grabs the puck, veers it around the near side for Hirschfeld. A short pass finds the stick of Lipset, back for Hirschfeld. Hirschfeld moves across Lund, and he'll flip one all the way down the ice off the back glass, where Jordan Gibbs gets it around near side, too far out in front of Chuck Owens. Lund back down for Melgren, out in front, and Svedin falls on the puck. Lipset was right there on the doorstep in front of Lucas Svedin. Wasn't able to handle the pass. He got his stick on it, but couldn't get it on the tape before Svedin fell on the puck with 2:34 to play here in the first. Face-off now to the left of Svedin. Yahala and Lorenza in the circle. And it's kicked back by Lorenza for Paddington in the near corner, working around Adam Mahler. Mahler's tied up as Paddington kind of took his arm. Mahler now with Riley and Paddington to his sides. It's in the skates of Adam Mahler with Yahala trying to chip it free. Mahler ends up out of the pile with the puck, but he lost it in the far corner. Now beyond the skates of Riley, Yahala tied up with Paddington as Yahala wins the puck battle there, comes into the neutral ice as Yahala's knocked down to the ice, and it's a 2-on-1. Paddington moves in on the left wing, fires off the wall and out of play with 1 minute and 54 seconds to go. Kobe, we have a replay on that one? No worries. So $1:54 to go here in the first period. Starting line out for the Toros, John Small, Ian Spencer, and Gavin Middendorf. Hirschfeld and John Small in the circle. In the Toro zone, comes back for Jordan Gibbs. Off the glass into the neutral ice. Bynum kicks it down. Hirschfeld picks it up and sends it deep into the Toro zone. Svedin guides it back beyond the goal line for Ty James. James looks near side, has Ian Spencer. Spencer fires one up looking for Ohannes, and Ohannes puts it down. And stays beyond the goal line. John Small picks it up, works far side, up to the top of the zone. Ty James, Jordan Gibbs, one-timer off the skates of Spencer. Centers a pass for Small, loose in the slot as Middendorf was bearing down. Malkasian takes it back up the ice into the Toro zone. Hirschfeld's one-timer took a deflection on the goal line. John Small knocks it to the boards, comes up top for Ryan Lund. Lund working around Ian Spencer, down beyond the goal line. Lund, score. Ryan Lund got it in for John Hirschfeld. Lund looks like he was going to wrap around the goal, but then he stopped, passed it to the near side. A clever move that tricked Lucas Vedin as the Austin Bruins are now on top 3-0. One more reap. Oh. Play resumes with 1 minute and 3 seconds to go. Landon Fleming into Toro's zone. Off the stick of Battanen into the Bruins bench. With 58 seconds to play as we take another look at that last goal. Lund working from up top in the Toro zone. Down, and there's the stop, spins it in for Hirschfeld. A clever move. John Hirschfeld picks up his first goal with the Austin Bruins in his second game as the Toros are in a big hole now. Adam Mahler from just in front of the center line fires it around the boards. Near side Williams left in the corner where Yahala's pressed up by Svantesson. Yahala unable to get free from Svantesson. Beckwith trying to jar it free, and he does. Beckwith looks far side. He has Sprates hurrying up the far side, tries a shot too high up the near side, picked up by Batten. Batten in the neutral ice for Ohannesson, far side into Batten. Batten takes it down, tried to wrap around. Getting in the way is Cherry. Ohannesson kicks it forward, but he comes up for Beckwith. 12 seconds to go in the period as Beckwith moves into the Toro zone, sends one off the stick of Fleming and into the netting with 7.9 to play here in the first. Drop stays in the Toro zone as the Toros will look to regroup in 7.9 seconds in a 3-goal deficit. Stays in the circle, comes up as it stays now on the wall. Out in front, shot safe, made, score! With 0.5 seconds to go in the first, the Bruins tack on one more. It's 4-0. Luke Malkasian with his second of the period. A bouncing puck came out in front of the net. Svedin made the initial save, came out to Malkasian, who was able to finish it off as the Bruins lead is 4 going into the first intermission. And time expires in the first period right off the face-off as the Toros trail by 4 after 20 minutes of play. Luke Malkasian with 2, E.J. Paddington and John Hirschfeld each with the goal in the first period. As the Toros look to get back on track, they will reset in the locker room with 40 minutes to play, down by 4. Will Mazenko starting to warm up on the ice. You wonder if he's going to come into the game for the last 40 minutes. We won't know the answer to that question until they come back onto the ice in the second period. But we'll send you out to a commercial break, and we'll be back with the Farmers Union intermission interview. Bruins lead the Toros 4-0 after 1. Stay tuned.
We often think of frontiers as pages in a history book, a time gone by. But even in this modern world, there are new frontiers to conquer. Whether you're tending the land to grow a better tomorrow or growing a business for new opportunities, the work you do powers the world. Exploring the frontier means stepping forward, shaping the future for yourself and for those around you. First International Bank and Trust, helping you live first, one step at a time.
When you carry blue, you get a devoted team backing you up, focused on you and your well-being, making it easier and affordable for you to make health a priority. When you carry blue, you get a health plan that anticipates your challenges, that's helping shape the future of healthcare, with more helpful tools and resources so you can get the most out of your benefits and focus more on living your best life. Find your plan today. Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Dakota. Carry blue, carry on.
I am Alyssa Mack, and I do collections and loans at Aspire Credit Union.
My name is Amy Rasmussen, and I am the Member Experience Coordinator at Aspire Credit Union.
I think it's very important to give back to our community to show that we care. I think that we're very good at showing our members we care, and they see us out in the community.
What I like most about working at Aspire Credit Union, it is very family oriented. We feel like one big happy family, and Aspire knows that your family always comes first.
I'll always remember when I first started. I showed up to work and my whole office was decorated in Mexican theme because I was going to be going to Mexico. I remember just being so shocked and so honored that they did that for me. I just think that's really special that Aspire allows us to develop those relationships with our coworkers.
We do a lot of fun things. We have the best potlucks ever. Kind of brings us together, and everyone just kind of helps each other out.
Aspire to more.
When you carry blue, you get a devoted team backing you up, focused on you and your well-being, making it easier and affordable for you to make health a priority. When you carry blue, you get a health plan that anticipates your challenges, that's helping shape the future of healthcare, with more helpful tools and resources so you can get the most out of your benefits and focus more on living your best life. Find your plan today. Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Dakota. Carry blue, carry on.
I'm down by the ice with assistant coach Tyler Ebner for the Farmers Union intermission interview. Coach, not the period the Toros were looking for, trailing by 4. What went wrong that period?
I thought, our D zone was we're slow to close on pucks, and that they killed us in front of the net. We have to be stronger and take away sticks if we want to have a chance at coming back here.
How can the Toros try and turn the momentum in this game?
I think simplify. We got to get some pucks to the net, pucks in deep, and actually, 4 shots is not good enough. It's not gonna cut it. And again, like I said, D zone we have to be better, have to be stronger at both ends in front of the net for sure.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
The Four Bears Casino Sportsbook has a new look. Enjoy Vegas-style betting in comfort. Play and qualify to win trips to Vikings or Raiders NFL games. Order a drink at the dedicated bar. Then kick back in a lounger and watch the full wall display. Feel the action all the way to the final moment and claim your winnings. Book it for private draft parties or game day too. Visit the remodeled Sportsbook at Four Bears Casino and Lodge, 4 miles west of Newtown.
When facing disaster, it's not just the things we lose, but the memories. But there's hope. ServPro, with decades of experience in Minot and Bismarck, is always ready. Our certified professionals don't just restore homes, they rebuild lives. Because to us, you're not just a client, you're family.
At Northwest Tire, we have tires for everyone. Needs tires that are reliable and safe to get her family where they need to be. Needs a tire that's heavy duty for all of his off-roading adventures. Needs tires that can get him from point A to point B. No matter what you drive or your budget.
Northwest Tire keeps you rolling down the road. Lucky for us, life is full of choices, big and small. They define us, make us who we are. And when it comes time for you to choose, a car, home, your next big adventure, or start a new business, Farmers Union Insurance has the variety of coverage options to protect each perfect moment. Farmers Union Insurance. Contact your local Farmers Union Insurance agent today.
The puck, the net, the crowd, the moment. A chance to make history. Just like that perfect play, we're here to help you win at your financial game. At Great River Federal Credit Union, we offer competitive rates and innovative technology designed to empower you to achieve your goals. Become a member of Great River and score a $100 bonus when you use promo code Hockey100. Visit greatriverfcu.org/Hockey100 for details and open your account. Member NCUA.
Hi, I'd like to add my new motorcycle to my insurance policy, please.
Greetings. Is it a moped or unicycle?
No, it's a motorcycle.
Unicycling enhances core body strength?
No, it's a motorcycle. It has 2 wheels, a seat, handlebars.
Does it have rocket boosters?
Can I speak to a live agent?
Impossible. All agents have been neutralized.
At Farmers Union Insurance, technology is important, and so is finding the best options for our clients, person to person. Farmers Union Insurance. Local agents, more options, great rates.
As long as you have the back of someone in the midst of an overdose, North Dakota's Good Samaritan Law has yours. Learn how to save a life at behavioralhealth.nd.gov.
Opioids. Fill with care.
Our history sets us on our path. From the moment we're born, we begin our walk through life. We learn so we can discover. We find our passion and develop our skills. We build relationships. We start thinking about what we're going to leave behind to those we love. Let our legacy help shape yours. First International Bank and Trust. No matter your place in life, we can help you live first.
Since 1977, Northwest Tire's been your partner on the road for over 40 years. People have put their trust in our quality brand tires and expert service on the roads and in the fields for work, play, and travel. Northwest Tire, keeping you rolling down the road.
Evan Epstein alongside Kobe Brault back here for the Four Bears Casino and Lodge Intermission Report. Kobe, the Toros trail by 4 after a barrage from the Austin Bruins over the first 20 minutes. What were your thoughts from the first?
Yeah, I mean, we knew that the Bruins were going to come out hard tonight after last night's performance. Honestly, it looks kind of similar to last night in terms of the Bruins controlling the pace of play, a lot of time in their offensive zone. And, not how you wanted to start it for sure. It's still a lot of game left. That's the one good thing. Looks like we may be getting a goalie change here to start the second. But, yeah, it was a variety of ways here. We can take a look at all 4 if you want, Evan. But, yeah, not a great start for the Toros. I'll say that.
Yeah, without a doubt. And like you said, it kind of mirrored some of last night's game where the Bruins controlled the large majority of it in the Toro zone, as we will take a look at highlights from the first period. And last night, the Toros come away with the win, 3-1. So maybe you expect that they controlled that game if you kind of just loosely watched or weren't fully intent on it. But their 2 goals that weren't empty netters were Gavin Middendorf breakaways, as there's the feed out inside, as I believe this is the third goal.
Second goal.
This is the second goal. This one on the power play for the Bruins as Bynum moves it down to the goal line. And it was a nifty play to get it back out in front as the Bruins took a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, and then the third and fourth came very quickly. You go into the room down 2-0, and it feels a lot different. I won't say better or worse, but it feels a lot different than 4-0. And these last 2 right towards the end of the period. That one, nobody picks up. Who was that? Lorenzo?
That was Hirschfeld.
Oh, Hirschfeld, yep. And then this was, literally, last face-off of the period. And just about everything that could go wrong did go wrong for the Toros. But I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, honestly.
And I think what happened on this last play was it comes out to the near wall, and the Toros assume, well, this play is probably over with 7 seconds to go on the clock. springs free out in front. There's the shot. Svedin makes the save, and Malkasian on the rebound. Backhands it by Lucas Svedin. Yeah, like you said, Kobe, just about everything that could go wrong did go wrong. Those final 3 goals all came within the last 4 minutes of the period. 1 minute and 5 seconds to go is the third, and half a second, the final goal of the period. Like you said, you go into an intermission down 2. We've seen the Toros come back from 2-goal deficits multiple times, not only this season, but multiple times over the past month or two.
Yep.
You think back against North Iowa, back against Aberdeen. They trailed, I'm not sure by 2, but they trailed against Watertown and came back. But 4 is a big deficit, particularly given the dominance that the Bruins have had over the Toros over the first 20 minutes in this game.
Yeah, and honestly, you know, there's obviously going to be a big pushback from the Toros to start the second here, but, you know, coming back from a 2-goal deficit, if you can claw your way back into this one, get the first goal of this second period, all of a sudden get a little momentum and maybe pop another one, then you go into the third down 2. That's manageable, right? That's not out of the realm of possibility, but if it gets any worse than 4-0, it's going to be very tough for the Toros to come back. But, yeah, you got to give credit to the Bruins. Obviously, last night, not how they wanted it to go. Third place, not the spot that they want to be in, and they came out and made it very clear that they're not going to back down to the Toros or really anybody.
But you said it right. This game is not over. This is a Toros team that averages 3.79 goals per game. This offense can get going in a hurry. We just haven't seen it yet tonight. And it starts with those keys to the game that we came in with. We knew that the Bruins controlled the puck last night, but the Toros, 2 breakaways. Svedin was rock solid in net. Just didn't happen over the first 20. As we take a look at scores around the league, particularly, well, we'll just go around the entire league here. So starting from the top, the New Hampshire Mountain Kings, a 5-1 win over the Danbury Hat-Tricks. Colorado Grit, 4-3 OT win over the Amarillo Wranglers. Rochester Junior Americans up 5-1 over the Aviators late in the third. New Jersey Titans holds a 4-0 lead over the Johnstown Tomahawks through 2 periods. The Watertown Shamrocks up 2-1 on the North Iowa Bulls at the second intermission. That one being played, I believe.
That's in Mason City.
That's in Mason City. Thank you, Kobe. Philadelphia Rebels up 2-0 on the Maryland Black Bears. Springfield Junior Blues and Chippewa Steel scoreless through 1. Lone Star Brahmas up 3-0 on the Oklahoma Warriors at the first intermission. Back into the Central Division. The Aberdeen Wings up 3-2 on the Minnesota Mallards. We've seen the Mallards have been giving the Wings a little bit of trouble so far this weekend.
Yeah, and the Mallards, not known for their defense this season, I will say that, but the ability to score goals against the Wings, I have found that really interesting. They were up 2-1 after the first yesterday, ended up falling 5-2, but Wings up, but I wouldn't necessarily say they're in control. Up 3-2, they're up in Forest Lake, just a little bit north of us here at the Riverside Arena.
St. Cloud Norsemen tied up at 1 with the Bismarck Bobcats at the first intermission. And so this is going to be kind of a good point. So the Bobcats picked up a shootout win over the Norsemen last night to stay 3 points ahead of the Toros. For the Toros to still, quote-unquote, control their own destiny, they need to be within 4 going into that final series against Bismarck. The problem is, however, if this game stays in tune, which Toros have 40 minutes to come back, but they are down 4, and the Bruins come away with a win, that would make it 5 points, and then the Toros would need help from the Bobcats.
Yeah, and the Norsemen played the Bobcats very tough last night, controlled most of that overtime that we saw on the live looking on the postgame show, and it's if the Norsemen could clutch up and get a win here tonight, then everything pretty much is the exact same at that point. We're tied with the Bruins, same amount of points there, and we'd only be 1 back at that point, right? Of Bismarck, or would we still? No, we'd still be 3. So the weekend would essentially reset itself. And honestly, at this point, down 4-0. Obviously, stranger things have happened. We've seen these Toros come back many a time, but if it does, continue to trend this way, if St. Cloud can clutch up and get the win, then we're no worse to wear. We're the exact same spot that we started the weekend at.
Right. Well, if St. Cloud gets the win, then yes, we are in the same spot that we went in. I fully track what you said there, but yes, that makes sense. And so that'll be a game to keep an eye on as we move throughout the night. Currently at the first intermission, tied up at 1. Janesville Jets hold a 1-0 lead over the Minnesota Wilderness. Corpus Christi Ice Rays tied at 1 with the Odessa Jackalopes at the first intermission. And a couple of games yet to drop the puck. New Mexico out in El Paso. Fairbanks at Anchorage at 7:35 p.m. Alaska time. And as is the Wisconsin Wendigo at Kenai River Brown Bears. So, Toros trail 4-0 heading into the first intermission. Taking a look at the box score from the first period. I said that and then didn't have the box score up. So,
classic.
Hold on a moment.
And I want to give a quick shout out when you, as you're pulling that up. Shout out Jordan Gibbs, said it on the pregame show. 100 games played for Jordan Gibbs in year 2 here in Minot. One of the best guys we got on the team, I'd say. Nicest kid. Parents come to a lot of the games. Just a great family, the Gibbs family, and they've supported the Toros the whole time. And it's been a pleasure to watch Gibbs as a defenseman grow and kind of turn into that guy this year. Obviously, Mahler gets all the headlines with the amount of points that he puts up, but Gibbs quietly tied for third among defensemen on the team in points. So shout out Jordan Gibbs, 100 games in the North American Hockey League, all in the Magic City, or with the Magic City, not with the Toros. You guys knew what I meant.
And I think that Gibbs' defensive pressure this weekend has been phenomenal, both last night and even you saw him walling off a couple of Austin Bruins here in the first period. Not many highlights per se for the Toros over the first 20 minutes. But Gibbs still looked like he was putting in a few good shifts. Toros back home next weekend against the Austin Bruins, March 28th and 29th, 7:35 p.m. puck drop. You've seen how differently these two games have gone so far. This is an exciting stretch of hockey against the Austin Bruins. Should be a terrific weekend back at the Mesa Arena. So make sure you buy your tickets, scan the QR code, or go to tickets.minotauroshockey.com. And now we'll go back to the box score. Austin Bruins outshoot the Toros 16-6 in the period. Toros took 2 penalties. Billy Batten and Adam Mahler came back-to-back. 10 seconds of a 5-on-3, and then the latter part of the 5-on-4 was when the Austin Bruins scored their second goal of the game. Toros had an early power play opportunity, weren't able to take advantage. Luke Malkasian, 2 goals on the period. E.J. Paddington with the second, John Hirschfeld with the third, and that's where we stand after Malkasian's second with 0.5 seconds remaining. Gave the Bruins a 4-0 lead. That will just about do it for us here on the Four Bears Casino and Lodge Intermission Report. Toros look to strike back in the second period. Stay tuned here on the Minotauros Network.
We had a member that came into the credit union who doesn't historically come in. She went up to the teller line and said she wanted $25,000 in cash. The teller kind of questioned her about it, and she said, "I'm buying a car," but she was kind of fidgety. And is that when she went to you first?
She had to make a phone call to see who it was payable to, and that was
Which is
red
way
flag.
weird. I mean, that's a huge red flag. And that's kind of when I came up there and I just said, "Are you comfortable coming to my office if we just sit down and talk about this?"
And that's where you took the phone and talked to the person on the other line, right?
Then to hit the button on the phone and disconnect them, for her to say, "Thank you."
I'd rather ask the uncomfortable questions than hear that I just assisted someone losing $25,000.
Perfect. That's when you know you did a good job that day.
In life, there's good, better, and the best. The same theme applies for our car and light truck tires at Northwest Tire. We offer you good tires, better tires, and the best tires. Which choice is right for you? That depends on your tire performance needs and your budget. The choice is yours. Come in and talk to one of our tire experts and we'll help you decide which tire is best for you.
Keeps you rolling down the road.
Hi, I'm Lauren Hill.
And I'm Evan Epstein.
And we host Toros All Access every Monday through Thursday at 3 p.m. Central.
We cover everything you need to know about the Minotauros, previewing upcoming series, interviewing players and coaches, and breaking down game footage.
You can watch on Facebook or YouTube to keep up with the Minotauros.
I'm Kevin Pro, and you're watching Minotauros Hockey on NAHLTV.com.
Evan Epstein back here on the Minotauros Network as we begin action in the second period between the Toros and the Austin Bruins. Bruins hold a 4-0 lead. Coming into the second period of play, Will Mazenko has come in to replace Lucas Vadin in the second for the Toros. Mazenko's last game was last Saturday, played for part of the first period, gave up 2 goals on 10 shots before he came out of that game. Mahler up the far side in the neutral ice. Hirschfeld turns it around on the right wing. Shot blockered away by Mazenko. Beyond the goal line, Adam Mahler has it. Far side, turned around. Hirschfeld comes in to take away the puck. Stays in the corner, but Billy Baden's able to get positioning on Sprates. Landon Fleming is hit by Nathan Williams. Arm up in the air. And this is a penalty on the Toros. Axelson comes off the ice. But as that pass seeped beyond the stick of Elber, Billy Baden's able to pick it up. And a trip is going to be the call against the Toros, which will send them to the penalty kill. The Papa John's penalty kill just 36 seconds into the second period. Well, the Toros were looking to turn the tides coming into the second, but that is the last thing the Toros needed to start the period. Going down a man for 2 minutes. Lorenza in the face-off circle to the right of Mazenko, who's faced 1 shot early in this period. Draw comes out to the half wall, picked up by Malkasian in the corner. Malkasian surveying, sends one into the crease, and it's covered by Mazenko. Jackson Riley unable to elevate a puck on Mazenko. Mazenko able to fall on it while it was on Riley's stick with 19:16 to play, just 8 seconds into the Toros penalty kill. Drop in the same spot, Lorenza and John Small once again. Lorenzo wins it back. Bynum drives in, wraps around beyond the net of Mazenko, comes up far side to the top of the zone. Malkasian, long shot through traffic, loose, score. Mazenko was unable to hold on to the long shot from Malkasian. The puck dribbled just to the side of the near post, and Jackson Riley was able to maneuver it into the back of the net as the Austin Bruins are now up 5-0 with 19:05 to play here in the second. There's the shot from Malkasian, the rebound, and a good swipe from Riley as the Bruins expand upon what was already a large lead. Toros controlled momentarily on the faceoffs. Van Tessen swats it into the Toros zone. Ty James resets behind the net of Mazenko, starts up ice, floats one into the air, far side. First to it was Reynolds, stays in the neutral ice as Ty James will ring it around the boards. Goes beyond Axelson and up the near side. Trace Day hit down by Sabulis. It's another penalty against the Toros. Sabulis going to be called. Reynolds spins away in the far corner. Now Axelson will break for the bench. Left back for Ditset. Now far side, it's Cherry. Up the ice off the stick of Jochums. Getting in there is O'Hannesson, who's taken down by Bynum. And Leo Sabulis will enter the penalty box as the Toros go to the Papa John's PK just moments later. We'll see what the call was there. As here's a look at the replay. Sabulis with the big hit into the wall. And they deemed that it was not clean. So Sabulis in the box for 2. Toros down 5, 18-23 to go in the second. Comes back for Bynum. Bynum, left wing shot, rings off the post. Lorenza back up top. Bynum down to the half wall for Lorenza. Looks to the goal line, out in front, and Mazenko covers it up. Jackson Riley spun it through his legs, looking for the highlight reel goal. 18-12 to go in the second. 10 seconds have expired on the Sabulis penalty. The call was head contact. Up for Bynum. Bynum sends one in, and it gets blocked out far side, picked up by Mahler. Tried to clear it around the boards, but it went up into the netting with 18:05 to play in the second. And we talked about it earlier. There's an extra official out on the ice, and every once in a while you can see an extra call. We didn't get a good look at whether or not there was head contact. There might have been, but admittedly it's hard to tell on that replay where the hit came into, especially because it was on the near boards. Not a great camera angle to see the hit, as it's going to float down into the Bruins zone. 17:56 to go in the second. Malkasian resets, hands off to Bynum. Bynum turns up in the Bruins zone, gives to Malkasian, leaves it in the neutral ice. Paddington sends it across where Lorenza has it off the wall. Lorenza drives in on the left side, moving around Adam Mahler. Mahler walls off Lorenza. Comes up to the far point for Bynum. Bynum weaving through traffic, taken away by Billy Batten. Batten moves in to the Bruins zone. Far side, tries the shot, blocked. Another shot from Landon Fleming is gobbled up by Axelson with 17:26 to play in the second. One of the better Toros shots of the game comes short-handed. Fleming with space out in the high slot. But a relatively routine save for Axelson. No one in the way, no one getting in the vision of that puck. Stays in the circle off the faceoff as Spencer gets it back for Hubert Clark, plays it into the neutral ice for Jordan Gibbs, and Gibbs will float it down deep into the Bruins zone. Axelson hands to Mellgren, up near side beyond the stick of Hirschfeld. Hirschfeld back on the puck, sent down by Gibbs, taken by Mellgren, loses it. Small gets it back into neutral, goes off of Beckwith. Spencer drives in on the left wing. His shot comes wide left. Spencer still fighting for the puck as Lorenzo, that's Williams pushing up the ice. He has Hirschfeld poked down into the corner. Beckwith can't keep it. Up to the top of the zone for Williams. Williams from the point down to Beckwith, hands it off to Hirschfeld. Beckwith driving in, centering pass. Save made by Mazenko as the Toros clear it all the way down the ice. Just 7 seconds to go on the penalty, but the Bruins trying to catch the Toros off guard. In on the right side, Hirschfeld fires into the body of Mazenko as time expires on the Bruins power play. Toros back at full strength with 16:22 to go in the second. Drop comes down in the Toros defensive zone. Shots predictably favor the Bruins 6-1 in the period, as the Toros have had 2 penalties to kill now. Unable to kill the first. And Lipset is going to be called off the faceoff. Sprates comes in to take it against Jesse Yahala. Typical formation for the Bruins as Yahala wins it straight back. Mahler backhands it around the boards. Billy Batten able to get it up into the neutral ice, where Cherry looks back for Reynolds. Reynolds tied up with Batten. Batten wins the puck battle. Yahala takes it beyond the blue line, sends it off the boards. Middendorf poked it down beyond the goal line, up the near side for Sprates. Sprates hands to Cherry in the neutral ice, who will flip it down into the corner. Comes around for Will Mazenko. Mazenko steers it far side, Fleming to Yahala. Yahala, cross-ice pass. Middendorf tried to just retrieve off the board, sent back into neutral by Mellgren. Lepset on the left wing. Shot comes just wide left. He had an opening near side over Mazenko. Couldn't put it on target. Mahler now, center of the ice, in on the right side. Floats it around the boards in the far corner. Cherry got his stick on it, picked up on the half wall by Yahala. Yahala can't keep it as it's taken away now by Sprates. Short pass far side for Lipset. Lipset cross-iced, looking for Sprates on the back door. Couldn't get a shot off. Lipset turns and fires, kick save as Billy Batten is able to poke that one out of the Toros zone. Floats deep into the Bruins end. Ryan Lund looks up the far side as Malkasian shovels it down deep into the Toros end. Poked into the near corner on the half wall. Couple players tied up. Lorenza fighting for it for the Bruins. In the skates of Perreault. Up the near side, kept in at the point by Lund. His shot hits Malkasian. Looks as his pass was intercepted. Lorenza now taking off the puck. Kevin Perreault up to Jack Edwards. Edwards never saw the puck as Williams spins it off the boards back into the neutral ice. 3-on-2 for the Bruins. Lorenza looks across, back door, couldn't connect with Lund, who spins it around the boards. Out inside for Paddington. Paddington had it tangled in his skates. Perreault gives it to Edwards, who's able to shimmy it into the neutral ice. Williams back up for Lorenza. Lorenza fights it into the Toros end, comes back out where it's flipped down into the near corner by Williams. Ty James now on it for the Toros off the back wall for Perreault. Perreault up the far side. He finds Chuck Owens into Edwards, who will send it down the ice. Gets by Elbert, played by Axelson for Elbert. Sabulis racing in, trying to take it away from Elbert. Elbert too fast up the far side, sent around. Comes into the near corner. Tui firing it around, comes out into the neutral ice. A penalty is going to come against the Bruins. And as Williams touches the puck, the Toros will go to the First Western Bank and Trust power play. As now we've got some action in the far corner. Leo Sabulis getting involved after the whistle. And depending on whether or not Sabulis is called with a penalty, that might wave off the Toros power play. Two men are heading to the box. No, Svantesson will leave. Elbert in the box for the Bruins. Sabulis has not gone into the penalty box for the Toros, but the officials are discussing. As we'll take a look at the replay here. There's the initial penalty right there. Elbert called with a high stick. And now our head official is motioning for Lorenza to go to the box as well. He said 19, which means that Lorenza is going to be called with a high stick. So is this a 5-on-3 for the Toros, or did they call it on Lorenza instead of Elbert? So it looks like it's going to be just Alex Lorenza in the penalty box instead of Gus Elbert. Alex Lorenza with the high stick. Toros on the First Western Bank and Trust power play. Jack O'Hanneson moves down the far wall, swats it down for Billy Batten. Batten loses it, and it's cleared down the ice, stays in play. Ricochet down as Mazenko leaves it in the far corner. Mahler to pick up the puck. Mahler off the skates of Yahala into the neutral ice. Out for O'Hanneson. O'Hanneson in near side, spins on the half wall, comes up top for Adam Mahler across the blue line. Jesse Yahala down tipped. Spencer gets it back, rings it around the boards. Mahler not at the near point. He'll retrieve it in the neutral ice. Back up for O'Hanneson to Jesse Yahala. Yahala center of the ice, moves in across the blue line, backhands one Spencer. Now it's Mahler. Over for Yahala into the slot. Spencer can't handle it. Taken away by Beckwith. Beckwith with space on the right side, one-on-one with Adam Mahler. Couldn't keep it on the tape as Jack O'Hanneson takes it for the Toros. O'Hanneson far side, he had his pass picked off. O'Hanneson back on it now, looking up for Jesse Yahala in on the left side. He has Jochums. Jochums would have had a terrific look if he could have settled down the puck. Jochums in the near corner, working away from Lipset, leaves it in the corner. Yahala up the wall at the near point is John Small. Back down to Yahala. Yahala now tied up with Lipset as the Bruins clear the puck once again. 34 seconds to go on the power play for the Toros. Far side, Jordan Gibbs. Short pass to Noah Gibbs as Gibbs tried to fire it in, went off of Ryan Lund and into the netting with 12:06 to go in the period, 25 seconds remaining on Alex Lorenza's high-sticking penalty. Toros looked like they had something going with that first power play unit, trying to move it into Ian Spencer, set up as the bumper on the 1-3-1, but got tangled in the skates of Spencer, and not much else has resulted. Toros yet to get a shot on goal on this power play, a minute and 35 seconds in. And the whistle blows. What's the call here? Linesman St. Pierre looking in at Noah Gibbs. Now he's talking with Gibbs. I'm not sure Gibbs much cares. And after the discussion with Gibbs, the linesman will skate away and will resume action. Bruins able to control as clearing it is Bynum down on Mazenko. Mazenko guides it back for Jordan Gibbs. 14 seconds remain on the man advantage. Up for Gavin Middendorf. Middendorf racing in on the right side. Stops as it floats beyond into the corner. Someone lost their stick. Comes far side. John Small in the corner. Up top for Jordan Gibbs. Gibbs directs it to Gavin Middendorf. Tries a shot. Save made. Comes up far side for John Small. Small looks inside off the skate of Hirschfeld as the Bruins break up the ice. It's Hirschfeld driving in on the left wing, and they're going to be called for offsides with 11:29 to play. Toros getting just one shot on goal on the power play. It was Gavin Middendorf's shot. It was screened up well by the Toros, a dangerous look through a couple of bodies, but unable to find the back of the net as the Toros trail 5-0. Out in the neutral ice, Ty James sends it off the wall, and now it's sent in by Parker Newman. Axelson grabs the puck. He has Ditsit near side. Now Day looks across in the neutral ice. Reynolds fires it in around the boards in front of Mazenko. Up on the half wall, picked up by Cherry. Cherry takes it down beyond the goal line. Cherry stops on a dime, steers it near side for Malkasian. Malkasian working away from Edwards. Drives in toward the net. Lost it. And able to get it back up top for Reynolds. Across for Dizdit as he fires one that is gobbled up by Will Mazenko. With 10:47 to go in the second, Toros still searching for a spark. They haven't been able to find it. Coming right out with two penalties in the second period certainly did not help, but even when they had the power play of their own, they weren't able to get much going. Face-off in the Toros zone to the right of Will Mazenko. Hirschfeld to take it against, looks to be John Small. Stays in the circle. Shot from Sprates is gobbled by Mazenko. Had it tangled in his pads. So they'll drop it again. Same spot. 10:44 on the clock this time, as Jordan Gibbs and Connor Toohey change with Landon Fleming and Adam Mahler defensively for the Toros. Hirschfeld wins it back. Riley shot blocked out to the far corner. Spencer picks it up with space. He plays it up for John Small, who puts it down. Comes for Jordan Gibbs. Gibbs moves across the blue line, floats it off the boards. Taken by Melgren. Short pass to Sprates. Sprates able to chase it down. Sprates walled off by Connor Toohey. Good defense from Toohey, but Hirschfeld back on it now, far side. Riley steers it up top. Melgren thought about it. Now looks inside, out in front, covered by Mazenko. Jackson Riley with a short shot. It looked like he wanted to pull it back from backhand to forehand, but instead it floats down to the pads of Mazenko, who's able to cover the puck with 10:15 to play in the second. Lorenzo with Jesse Yahala in the circle. Yahala able to control the draw this time as Perreault clears to neutral, sent back in by Reynolds. Down beyond the goal line, Ty James resets for the breakout in the Toros zone. Up the far side, goes over the official, comes to the stick of Jesse Yahala. Yahala backhands one off the body of Lorenza, picked up by Malkasian, back to Lorenza. Lorenza hit by Ty James as Yahala has it back for the Toros. Billy Batten couldn't keep it, directs it back into the Toro zone. Now it's Ty James off the wall for Gavin Middendorf. James takes it back in the neutral ice, near side on the wall. Dizdat, as it comes for Paddington in the Toro zone, floats in front of Mizenko as Mizenko falls on it with Paddington bearing down. 9 minutes and 35 seconds to go in the second. We'll take a short break halfway through the second period as we hit our media timeout. Stay tuned here on the Minotauros Network.
The Four Bears Casino Sportsbook has a new look. Enjoy Vegas-style betting in comfort. Play and qualify to win trips to Vikings or Raiders NFL games. Order a drink at the dedicated bar. Then kick back in a lounger and watch the full wall display. Feel the action all the way to the final moment and claim your winnings. Book it for private draft parties or game day too. Visit the remodeled Sportsbook at Four Bears Casino and Lodge, 4 miles west of Newtown.
Nicotine can harm brain development, which continues to about age 25. Know the risks. Visit ecigarettes.surgeongeneral.gov to learn more. This message is brought to you by the 1st District Health Unit and the Minot Minotauros.
Back here from Riverside Arena in Austin, Minnesota, the Bruins hold a commanding 5-0 lead on the Toros with 9:35 to play in period number 2. Face-off in the Toros' defensive zone. Sabulis in the circle as Sabulis now tied up off the draw. Lipset fires one wide, comes up on the far half wall. Noah Gibbs able to steer it back, working away from 2 defenders. Sabulis comes in there to help out. A Bruin hits the deck. Toro's able to jar it free. Braden Jockums into the neutral ice across on the near side. Lipset able to clear to neutral. Now racing it down is Beckwith. Beckwith with Mahler on his back. Has to take it beyond the goal line. Comes up in the near corner. A few players hit the deck. Lipset trying to jar it free. Elbert across the blue line as he's got Williams, sends one wide left. Picked up by Svan Tessen, moving around. Adam Mahler out in front. Noah Gibbs there to greet it in the slot as Jockham's able to take it down into the Bruins zone. Near side on the wall, comes around the board for Williams as the Bruins start up ice. Toro's got to change in. Williams working away from Chuck Owens, up into the air, put down. Owens on it in the Toro zone, up into the neutral ice for Parker Newman. Newman moves in off the skate of Williams, back down into the far corner for Williams. Kept into the Bruins zone, shot out in front. Edwards, can he finish it off? Still loose, and it's taken away by the Bruins. Trace Day moves it into the neutral ice. Working around Hubert Clark, he'll backhand one around the boards. Mazenko out to grab it, as that was the most dangerous look the Toros have had all night. Jack Edwards looking for Chuck Owens. Owens just across the blue line, but they said he was offsides. Puck comes back into the Toros zone regardless. Owens back on it to Edwards on the logo. Edwards moves across the blue line for Parker Newman. Newman floats it around the boards. Bynum pressed up by Edwards. Now in the far corner, Parker Newman's walled off. Comes out to Ashton Bynum. Bynum up the near side. He'll flip it well into the air. Put down by Connor Toohey. Toohey avoids a couple of Bruins. Could have been a big collision there. Shot from Spencer. Played by the pads of Axelson and into the netting with 7:30 to go in the second. And this is the opportunity out in front of Axelson. A sneaky shot from long range. Jack Edwards was out in front all alone on the rebound. Parker Newman unable to find the puck as he crashed in on the net. As the Toros stay empty-handed for now with 7:30 to go in the second. Controlled by the Bruins, back for Ryan Lunds. Lund looks for Sprates. Sprates pressured by Connor Toohey. Moving is Ian Spencer. Shot comes up into the netting. Axelson was in good positioning, but there was a little bit of a gap near side just over the shoulder of Axelson. Take another look at that one. Spencer comes away with the puck battle and just unable to find that small portion of open net. 7:20 to go now as John Small gets it back. Coming in with Sprates. Middendorf takes it down to the corner. Arounds for Dizdat. Dizdat shimmies it up the wall. Ty James tried to get in there. Floats out to neutral ice. Connor Toohey off the stick of Sprates. Middendorf pushes it forward. Bruins take it back. Lund too far out in front of Sprates. Ty James grabs it, takes it into the Toros' end. James looks for Ian Spencer off the end of his stick. Lund back in as John Small picks off that pass. He'll ring it around the boards. Comes up far side for Dizdat. Pushes it forward into the neutral ice. Small spins it back to Landon Fleming. Fleming off the near wall in the neutral ice. Taken away by Ryan Lund into the Toro zone. On the left wing, now drives in beyond the goal line. Wraps around, rebounds out in the slot. Svantessen shot blocked by Fleming. And into the netting with 6:27 to go. A very quick opportunity that emerged for the Austin Bruins. Moving in off the neutral zone turnover from the Toros. As here it is, wraparound out in front. Svantessen left for the one-timer. Fleming, good positioning defensively. 6:27 to play. Toros still trying to break through on the scoreboard, trailing by 5. Comes straight out to the half wall, up top for Elbert. Elbert sends one in, tipped out in front. Mazenko making a great save. Lipset looking for the redirect. Back beyond the goal line, it's Fleming behind the cage of Mazenko. Moves far side into the corner for Adam Mahler. Up the wall, Billy Batten able to whack it into the neutral ice. Elbert tried to send it off the glass, went over the glass and into the stands with 6:06 to go in the second. Brings the face-off back to the Bruins side of the neutral ice. The Yahalo, Hannes, and Batten line on the ice for the Toros along with Fleming and Mahler. Elbert has it near side for the Bruins. Elbert moves in across the blue line. He'll float it around the boards. Far side, Svantessen sends it back, takes a weird hop off a stanchion, but luckily for the Toros, Jesse Yahala was there as Yahala hits the deck, pushes it now for Adam Mahler. Mahler off the wall, comes down into the Bruins zone. This is going to go for icing against the Toros with 5:44 to play in the second period. Icing brought to you by Minot's Finest Collision Center. As we'll take a look at some social media check-ins. Emma Spencer checking in from New Lenox. Betsy Patterson checking in from Sacramento. Danielle Morgan checking in. The Millers watching on NATV. Neubauer's checking in. Corey's checking in as well. As action resumes down in the near corner is Malkasian. Malkasian leaves it on the goal line. Centering pass out in front. Mazenko doesn't see it. It was right on his pads. Luckily for Mazenko, there were no Austin Bruins in the area to knock that one by. It just stayed on the pads of Will Mazenko. A very good centering pass off the backhand to move it out in front. And there you see Will Mazenko. It stayed on his pads as he was unable to move it by. Or he just didn't see it, quite frankly. Shots on goal this period, 14-5 in favor of the Bruins, 30-11 in total this game. Faceoff comes right toward Mazenko. Leaves for Jordan Gibbs. Gibbs up the far wall to Noah Gibbs. Gibbs in the neutral ice, chips it forward into the corner. Jockums walls off Dizdat, stays beyond the goal line where Noah Gibbs jousts for the puck. Out in front is Jockums, and it's covered by Axelson. And now some more fighting after the whistle. Sabulis tied up. There's going to be a penalty that comes of it. It's not Sabulis, it's Noah Gibbs in the thick of it. Noah Gibbs with Ryder Reynolds. Gibbs' helmet is off. You would assume that this is going to be offsetting and that both Reynolds and Gibbs will head to the box. Roughing is the call. Neither penalty box has opened. And now it's going to be Reynolds directed into the box, but Gibbs stays out on the ice, so the Toros will go to the First Western Bank and Trust power play with 5:17 to go in the second. And maybe the Toros can try and use this physicality as a burst of momentum because they need one. First power play unit on the ice for the Toros. Yahala, Ohanesen, Spencer, Mahler, and Batten. Yahala to take the draw. Batten to the right. Ohanesen to the left. Spencer and Mahler up top. Comes back up for Ian Spencer. Spencer moves in on the far side. He fires a shot loose out in front. Comes beyond the goal line. An inadvertent whistle on the rebound with 5:10 to go. Six seconds have expired off the penalty as we take a look at, is this the penalty? This is the penalty that pushed the Toros to the power play. Toros have it, it's Ian Spencer. Spencer drives in on the left wing, shot, rebound, knocked out to the boards by Hirschfeld. In the skates of Svan Tessen with Jack Ohanesen. Mahler keeps it in off his skate, looks across for Jesse Yahala. Yahala down to the goal line for Ian Spencer. Spencer sends one in, kick save out to Svan Tessen and down past Adam Mahler. Mazenko has it. He'll leave for Mahler. Toro's going to leave this first unit out on the ice. Jesse Yahala in neutral far side, trying to move through the skates of Malkasian. Batten out in front, shot saved and into the netting as Axelson has been giving rebound after rebound on this Toros power play. Toros finally able to rack up some shots on goal on the man advantage. Still haven't been able to maneuver one through quite yet. Billy Batten out in front all alone from short range. Face off to the right of Axelson, stays in the circle. Players battling for the puck. Someone's helmet's off. It's Lund. Coming in now, right side, Ohanesen gives to Mahler. Ohanesen back off, tipped by Beckwith, and Williams has space to clear for the Bruins. Down the ice for Will Mazenko. Mazenko guides it for Adam Mahler. Svan Tessen forced to hustle off the ice after he lost his helmet. Jesse Yahala off the wall near side for Billy Batten as it's now sent down on Mazenko by Ashton Bynum. 38 seconds to go on the man advantage as the Toros have their second unit now out on the ice. Gibbs up for Gavin Middendorf. Looks across for Noah Gibbs off his stick down into the quarter. Gibbs crashes in on the puck. He's tied up. Someone else lost their helmet. Same helmet. Thank you, Kobe. Now it's John Small. Small, top of the zone, working away from Hirschfeld. Spins it back to the point for Jordan Gibbs. Gibbs shot through traffic, blocked by Hirschfeld. He looks up for Svan Tessen. Svan Tessen with space on the right side. Jordan Gibbs catches up, driving in on the net off the side of the cage. And it comes up now for Jordan Gibbs. Given to Noah Gibbs. Down into the Toro zone. And the arm is up in the air. It was a delayed offsides against the Bruins. Bruins have come full strength. Noah Gibbs far side in the neutral ice. Fleming picks it up, able to shovel it down into the Bruins zone, back into neutral, where Fleming gets it down into the Bruins zone once again. 2:50 to go in the second period. Williams up into neutral off the stick of Malkasian. Sprates far side, goes down off of Jordan Gibbs. Sprates back on it, steers it near side, up top for Elbert. Elbert fires, kick save from Mazenko as Melgren plays it down into the far corner. Left in the corner, Day shot from a tough angle, loose in the crease, out in front, covered by Mazenko with 2:28 to go in the period. Another dangerous look for the Austin Bruins. A pretty productive power play for the Toros, really for the first time this game, but they were unable to cash in. Toros now 0 for 3 on the power play. Bruins are 2 for 4 on the power play. Face off to the left of Mazenko, and it comes out for Adam Mahler. Mahler sweeps it around the boards near side. Dizdad, his shot got deflected up top from the high slot. Trace Day couldn't get it through defenders, so Hannison into the neutral ice, floats one in to the glove of Axelson. It was going just to the right of the net, but Axelson chose to grab it nonetheless. Jesse Yahala was momentarily tangled with Dizdad after the whistle. Nothing comes of it. 2:13 to go in the second, and maybe some physicality is what the Toros need right now. You're not necessarily worried about going down a man. 22 minutes to go in the second period, but this is a Bruins team that you have to face next weekend back in Minot. And so momentum, even if it doesn't push you over the edge to win this game, you want to show something moving into next weekend's matchup. Mahler takes it back into the Toro zone, across for Landon Fleming. Fleming pushes up the ice, floats one down near corner. Dizdad swivels it around the boards. Through the legs, Batten takes it away. His shot gets blocked. Yahala on it, but can't keep it as Beckwith shoves it toward the neutral ice, now down into the Toro zone. Beckwith far corner with O'Hannesson on his back, taken by Yahala. Billy Batten far half wall. Toros unable to clear the zone as it comes down to the far corner. Adam Mahler now near side on the half wall with space, looks for O'Hannesson in the neutral ice. And Jack O'Hannesson and Reynolds are thinking about going at it. O'Hannesson with a shove to Reynolds after the play. Reynolds has a cage, however, so neither side can do much there. Frustration showing from the Toros. 1:31 to go here in the second period. Edwards with Hirschfeld in the neutral ice. Hirschfeld gets it back for Ryan Lund. Lund from the center line. Looked like he was trying to send one in on net. It got tipped and went into the netting with 87 seconds to play in period number 2. Should bring the faceoff back out to the neutral ice, as that's where it was tipped. And it will. Hirschfeld and Edwards once again. Edwards moves in quick. And a weird drop. Bruins come away with it. Melgren across on the right side. Spins away from traffic up to Hirschfeld. Now it's Lund near side. Shot through traffic. Tipped. Stays in play in the corner. Up the wall. Comes out beyond Hirschfeld. Now Melgren up at the near point. Takes it down the wall. Centering pass. Hirschfeld's one-timer. Played out to the side. Now it's Svantesson from the near point. Melgren thinks better of the one-timer, and Lund pretty much whiffs on the one-timer. Comes up the near side for Melgren. Melgren hits the deck, out in the slot where it's taken by Hubert Clark. Clark moves up the ice. Final minute of play brought to you by Northern Plains Equipment. Just 43 seconds remaining in the second period. Lund with Chuck Owens on his back in the Bruins zone. That goes off the stick of John Small in the Bruins zone. Did Hubert Clark keep it in? Yes, he did. Went off his skates, but the Bruins have it back. Hirschfeld charges forward, up off Svantesson, down into the corner in the Toro zone. Gibbs takes it behind the net of Mazenko, looks far side for John Small, back across for Connor Toohey. Toohey backhands it to Mazenko from the near side, looking through the slot. Spencer couldn't pick it up. Bruins get back into the neutral ice. Hirschfeld turned away by Gibbs, but on the puck now is Sprates. Sprates into the slot Tipped out by Small. Lund down to the goal line, and time expires in period number 2. An early goal on the power play for the Austin Bruins was all the scoring in the period. Toros were able to get a couple of good looks on their last power play, able to get a little bit of pressure out in front of the net, but not much, as they were outshot 20-11 in the second, now outshot 36-17 on the night, and they trail 5-0 as we'll head out to commercial. And we'll be back with Kobe Brault for the Forebears Casino and Lodge Intermission Report. Stay tuned.
We often think of frontiers as pages in a history book, a time gone by. But even in this modern world, there are new frontiers to conquer. Whether you're tending the land to grow a better tomorrow or growing a business for new opportunities, the work you do powers the world. Exploring the frontier means stepping forward, shaping the future for yourself and for those around you. First International Bank and Trust, helping you live first, one step at a time.
When you carry blue, you get a devoted team backing you up, focused on you and your well-being, making it easier and affordable for you to make health a priority. When you carry blue, you get a health plan that anticipates your challenges, that's helping shape the future of healthcare, with more helpful tools and resources so you can get the most out of your benefits and focus more on living your best life. Find your plan today. Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Dakota. Carry blue, carry on.
I am Melissa Mack, and I do collections and loans at Aspire Credit Union.
My name is Amy Rasmussen, and I am the Member Experience Coordinator at Aspire Credit Union.
I think it's very important to give back to our community to show that we care. I think that we're very good at showing our members we care, and they see us out in the community.
What I like most about working at Aspire Credit Union, it is very family-oriented. We feel like one big happy family, and Aspire knows that your family always comes first.
I'll always remember when I first started. I showed up to work and my whole office was decorated in Mexican theme because I was going to be going to Mexico. I remember just being so shocked and so honored that they did that for me. I just think that's really special that Aspire allows us to develop those relationships with our coworkers.
We do a lot of fun things. We have the best potlucks ever. Kind of brings us together, and everyone just kind of helps each other out.
Aspire to more.
When facing disaster, it's not just the things we lose, but the memories. But there's hope. ServPro, with decades of experience in Minot and Bismarck, is always ready. Our certified professionals don't just restore homes, they rebuild lives. Because to us, you're not just a client, you're family.
If RPMs raise your BPMs, if the open road is an open invitation, then get up and go. Go turn some heads. Go turn a wrench. Go windows down. Go volume up. Go in. Go out. Go off. Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
Circle Sanitation is a locally owned family business providing quality waste hauling services since 1980. We provide service to residential and commercial customers, as well as roll-off service for large projects and construction sites. We are dedicated to providing excellent service at competitive prices without deceptive contracts or hidden fees. For more on what Circle Sanitation can do for you, call us or visit circlesanitation.com.
Hi, I'd like to add my new motorcycle to my insurance policy, please.
Greetings. Is it a moped or unicycle?
No, it's a motorcycle.
Unicycling enhances core body strength.
No, it's a motorcycle. It has 2 wheels, a seat, handlebars.
Does it have rocket boosters?
Can I speak to a live agent?
Impossible. All agents have been neutralized.
At Farmers Union Insurance, technology is important, and so is finding the best options for our clients, person to person. Farmers Union Insurance. Local agents, more options, great rates.
As long as you have the back of someone in the midst of an overdose, North Dakota's Good Samaritan Law has yours. Learn how to save a life at behavioralhealth.nd.gov.
Opioids. Fill with care.
Our history sets us on our path. From the moment we're born, we begin our walk through life. We learn so we can discover. We find our passion and develop our skills. We build relationships. We start thinking about what we're going to leave behind to those we love. Let our legacy help shape yours. First International Bank and Trust. No matter your place in life, we can help you live first.
Since 1977, Northwest Tire's been your partner on the road for over 40 years. People have put their trust in our quality brand tires and expert service on the roads and in the fields for work, play, and travel. Northwest Tire, keeping you rolling down the road.
What's up, Toro fans? This is Jordan Gibbs. You're watching Minotauros hockey on NAHLTV.com. And we're good.
Evan Epstein back alongside Kobe Brault from Riverside Arena here with the Four Bears Casino and Lodge intermission report at the second intermission. The Bruins tack on one more early in the second period. That was all the scoring over the past 20 minutes. They lead 5-0 as there's not really much of a positive way to spin this for the Toros. They've been outplayed. 4 early goals in this one for Austin, as they really continued to dominate possession of the puck in the second.
Yeah, it was, we talked about it at the first intermission. The pushback had to be a little more from the Toros, and, I think the momentum any shot at momentum kind of went away when you commit those 2 penalties early in the period. Obviously not what we wanted on the Saturday night here, but, we talked about it on the pregame show today, right? Getting that win last night took the pressure off it tonight. Obviously, you're hoping for a little bit more from the Toros, but Axelson, he's been giving up rebounds, don't get me wrong, but he's looked pretty solid tonight. He's got to commit in his own right. He's a pretty solid goalie, so Toros unable to solve him, and you were hoping to get 1 or 2 in there, but instead give up 1 more, and now you're just hoping for if it gets physical, which it started to trend that way a little bit towards the end of that period. You just hope there's no if something does happen, you hope nobody from the Toros starts it so that we won't be down a man coming back to the Mesa next week. That's what I'm most looking forward to, truthfully. Back home next weekend, Mesa Arena against these same Austin Bruins, and I got a really, really good gut feeling that the Pepsi drink's going to be rocking.
Yeah, and I think the Toros are going to be looking forward to playing the Bruins in their home barn. Mm-hmm. Last night was a burst of energy in the second period. Gavin Middendorf with the 2 breakaways, and the Toros really rallied around that. The energy was high going back to the hotel from the Toros. I think everyone was very pleased with the win. You hope that would ease the pressure off their shoulders and maybe they'd play a little bit looser tonight, but the Austin Bruins have come out hot. You look at the second period, and the Bruins got 20 shots on goal. Will Mazenko stood pretty strong across these past 20 minutes. It's tough coming into the game in the second period. Lets one by early after an early power play chance for the Bruins.
Yeah, and you like to see that out of Mazenko. Obviously got pulled last Saturday, just not even through the first period before he got pulled, and that goalies are strange humans. Everyone knows that. So, you wonder what that does to a goalie's psyche. And came out in that second period and looked pretty solid. So, got to give big props to Mazenko for, obviously he gave up the 1 there, but for the most part looked really good.
And this is a good chance for Mazenko. It's a little bit more of some low pressure reps. You got to think, right? You're down 4, and you're not coming into kind of a tight game against one of the division's top opponents. You're just working on your craft. You're trying to stop. You're basically trying to do your job.
Yep.
And he's done a pretty good job of that. You mentioned how he got pulled against North Iowa, but he made 14 on 15 against the Minnesota Mallards the weekend prior. Toros' defense was terrific that weekend. But nonetheless, that was still a solid performance from Mazenko. And it'll be interesting to see. Maybe if he continues to play his tail off in the third period, he gets a start next weekend. back at the Mesa Arena. We don't want to speculate on that. We have no idea who will be coming out between the pipes for the Toros, but it's certainly a possibility.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing right now with 20 minutes left in this one is to not look into this too much, right? Obviously, not going the way we want. Stranger things have happened in terms of a comeback, but by and large, most likely going to stay something similar to this. But at the end of the day, it's just 2 points, right? Like we said, if the Norsemen, which we're going to get to some out-of-town scores after this upcoming break here, but like we said, if the Norsemen can somehow get it done at the VFW tonight, we leave this weekend the exact same way we started it, no worse to wear. So, things could be a lot worse in Toro land. Obviously, not an ideal night tonight, but certainly not anything to. I won't overreact. I'll just say 2 points and get them for 2 next weekend with that home ice advantage that the Pepsi rink always provides.
Yeah, sometimes the best thing you can do is just chalk a game up as an off night, and that appears to be what tonight was. At the end of the first period was really the crusher for the Toros.
Yep.
They let up 2 early on in the first. Even the second one comes a little bit late, but you think, like you said at the last intermission report, you head to the locker room down 2. That's a manageable deficit. A goal with 0.5 seconds to go to get them up 4 is a heartbreaker, and committing an early penalty in the second really prevents the Toros from picking up any sort of momentum of their own.
And last thing I'll say on it, sorry, I didn't mean to jump in and cut you off there, but that's the nice thing about the schedule lining up this way, right, is we saw these guys right before Christmas break, and that weekend was similar to this game, just kind of got outplayed and ended up getting swept. One of the few times they've been swept this year, and then had to wait 2 months before you got a chance to see them. This is complete emulation of playoff hockey, right? No matter what happens in this third period, you still got 2 more cracks at them next weekend. So really one of those times where the weird scheduling, playing the team 4 games in a row, actually works out in this scenario.
Yeah, and you look at the way the standings line up, and I'd say the vast majority of outcomes lead to the Bruins playing the Toros in the first round of the playoffs, just with the Bobcats' easy strength of schedule, particularly if they hold on to the game tonight, with the Toros and Bruins chipping away points from each other over these 4 games. They look destined to meet in the playoffs. So it is a big 4-game stretch. Toros got it done last night. Doesn't look like they will tonight. Still 20 minutes to play. We'll be back with scores around the league here on the Four Bears Casino and Lodge Intermission Report.
The Four Bears Casino Sportsbook has a new look. Enjoy Vegas-style betting in comfort. Play and qualify to win trips to Vikings or Raiders NFL games. Order a drink at the dedicated bar. Then kick back in a lounger and watch the full wall display. Feel the action all the way to the final moment and claim your winnings. Book it for private draft parties or game day too. Visit the remodeled Sportsbook at Four Bears Casino and Lodge, 4 miles west of Newtown.
When facing disaster, it's not just the things we lose, but the memories. But there's hope. ServPro, with decades of experience in Minot and Bismarck, is always ready. Our certified professionals don't just restore homes, they rebuild lives. Because to us, you're not just a client, you're family.
We had a member that came into the credit union who doesn't historically come in. She went up to the teller line and said she wanted $25,000 in cash. The teller kind of questioned her about it, and she said, "I'm buying a car," but she was kind of fidgety. And is that when she went to you first?
She had to make a phone call to see who it was payable to, and that was
which is
red
way
flag.
Weird. I mean, that's a huge red flag. And that's kind of when I came up there and I just said, "Are you comfortable coming to my office if we just sit down and talk about this?"
And that's where you took the phone and talked to the person on the other line, right?
Then to hit the button on the phone and disconnect them, for her to say, "Thank you."
I'd rather ask the uncomfortable questions than hear that I just assisted someone losing $25,000.
Perfect. That's when you know you did a good job that day.
In life, there's good, better, and the best. The same theme applies for our car and light truck tires at Northwest Tire. We offer you good tires, better tires, and the best tires. Which choice is right for you? That depends on your tire performance needs and your budget. The choice is yours. Come in and talk to one of our tire experts and we'll help you decide which tire is best for you.
Tire keeps you rolling down the road.
Evan Epstein and Kobe brought back here with the Four Bears Casino and Lodge intermission report. Bruins hold a 5-0 lead over the Toros as we'll hit some final social media check-ins. Smeestad's checking in from Dallas, Texas. The Nices checking in from Arizona. I appreciate the pronunciation guide there. Definitely helps out. Lucas Vadin's dad checking in from Sweden. Wally and the Mox checking in from Minot. Dan Held checking in from the Room of Requirements. I'm not even going to try and guess what that means. Checking in from work, maybe? Kobe, you got to guess that?
I got no idea. Dan's always goofing around in the comments there.
Broussard's checking in from Portage, Manitoba at the Mites AAA tournament. The Okasons watching from Minot on NATV. The Canarats checking in from Richardson, also watching on NATV. Smalls checking in from Orleans Park. Wilburn's checking in from Minot, as is David Van Lith. Reynaldo, I don't want to mispronounce it. Guitan.
That's Billet Ray.
Huh?
That's Billet Ray. He's one of our Billet parents.
Do you have the pronunciation?
He goes by
here?
Billet Ray, so keeps it easy
perfect.
on you.
All right, I appreciate that. Bliven's checking in, and that will do it for social media check-ins as we'll take a look at scores from around the league. I mean, I think the scores to focus on are going to be in the Central Division. We've already hit most of the finals so far. The St. Cloud Norsemen still tied up at 1 with the Bismarck Bobcats after 2 periods of play. Bobcats outshooting the Norsemen 21-13. 7 power play opportunities between both sides in that game. No one has been able to convert. A low-scoring affair out in Bismarck. We'll keep an eye on how that one wraps up.
High-scoring affair just north of us at the Forest Lake Sports Center. Aberdeen up 5-3 on the Minnesota Mallards. And then there was one other. Yeah, there we go. 3-2 Watertown. That one's a final. Dennis Hodis gets 2 goals for North Iowa, but that's not enough as the Shamrocks get the sweep of the North Iowa Bulls. I'll give a lot of credit to the Watertown Shamrocks. Obviously not the season they wanted in year 1 in terms of the win-loss record, but those boys come out and compete every night, and you see that with this much time left in the season. A lot of teams towards the bottom of the standings will be packing it in, but the Watertown Shamrocks still out fighting and get the sweep of the Bulls.
Yeah, and in their inaugural season, right, they've got a great fan base down in Watertown. They pack that rink every night, and I think the players really appreciate it, and they show out for their fans. As you see, they've been picking up wins now toward the latter half of the season. They spent most of the first half of the year down in 8th place in the Central Division, but then they moved past the Minnesota Mallards. Now they're gaining traction and could possibly move past the North Iowa Bulls before the end of the season. No idea if that will happen, but the Shamrocks are capable of playing some good hockey. A very physical and hotly contested series between the Toros and the Shamrocks throughout the season, but they've played all 8 games between each other. Nonetheless, still good to see them battling it out down the stretch.
And last thing I want to show real quick here, Evan, we got the Dash auction. I got it up right here. Luck of the Toros auction part 2, those 6 St. Patrick's Day jerseys. A couple of them with no bids on them yet. So if you were thinking about pulling the trigger, you may as well throw a bid in, see what happens. Bidding closes, you said Monday at 9 p.m.?
I believe it is Monday at 9 p.m.
Yep, so make sure dashapp.io, go check it out. See if one suits your fancy and throw a bid on it. May as well, like I was saying yesterday, I'm kicking myself every day. I might have to throw a bid on it because I didn't get one with that first order, and as soon as they came into the office, I immediately regretted that because they turned out really, really cool. So dashapp.io. And this one right here, worn by Stevie Brown and signed by the entire band Come Out Alive. That is a 1-of-1 jersey, no doubt about it.
And that will be a very cool piece of Toros memorabilia to own as the Toros skate back out to the ice, as we are just a couple of minutes away from action here in the third period. We'll send you out to a quick commercial break, and we'll come back with puck drop in the third period. Stay tuned to the Minotauros Network here from Riverside Arena.
The puck, the net, the crowd, the moment. A chance to make history. Just like that perfect play, we're here to help you win at your financial game. At Great River Federal Credit Union, we offer competitive rates and innovative technology designed to empower you to achieve your goals. Become a member of Great River and score a $100 bonus when you use promo code Hockey100. Visit greatriverfcu.org/Hockey100 for details and open your account. Member NCUA.
As long as you have the back of someone in the midst of an overdose, North Dakota's Good Samaritan Law has yours. Learn how to save a life at behavioralhealth.nd.gov.
Opioids. Fill with care.
"20 minutes to play here from Riverside Arena in Austin, Minnesota, between the Minot Minotauros and the Austin Bruins. Bruins hold a 5-0 lead over the Toros. Last time the Toros were shut out came against the Austin Bruins back in December at the Mesa Arena. Toros looking to avoid the shutout. 20 minutes left to do so in a 5-goal deficit. Definitely a tall task to try and come back and win this one, but crazier things have happened. Starting lines back out on the ice for both sides. Adam Mahler, after a quick word with the head official, skates back. Toros win the faceoff, comes back for Landon Fleming, across to Adam Mahler, and back to Fleming in the Toros zone. Fleming has Ian Spencer in the neutral ice. Spencer floats one down to the far corner. Gus Elbert gets there, directs it back beyond the goal line for Williams. Williams high off the glass, comes into the neutral ice for Middendorf, tied up with Sprates as they hit the ice. Adam Mahler picks up the loose puck, sends it around for Gavin Middendorf off the end of the stick of Ian Spencer down into the Bruins zone. Williams turns it around, comes up onto the blue line for Hirschfeld. Hirschfeld into the Toros zone, tries a shot just over the cage. Mizenko making a save there. On the half-wall poke beyond the goal line. Sprates gets there, tied up with John Small, taken by Hirschfeld out in front. Shot, rebound. Riley couldn't get another shot, comes up for Bynum on the left wing as his shot finds the body of Will Mizenko. 56 seconds into the third period. Both sides going to make some changes. Toros will send out the Yahala line. And it's Kevin Perreault with Jordan Gibbs defensively. Top line for the Bruins: Lorenza, Paddington, Malkasian, Reynolds, and another defenseman. As it comes out to the side, Perreault trying to push it forward for the Toros. Malkasian moves in, tipped by Jordan Gibbs as Lorenza able to swat it around the boards before he hits the ice. Malkasian centers a pass. Yahala knocks it back. Yahala on it, on the logo, through the legs of Billy Batten as Batten sweeps it around the boards. Yahala is well into the Bruins zone. Working up the far side is Austin. Lorenza taking off the puck back in the Toro zone. Perreault now steers far side off the wall for Yahala into the neutral ice. Yahala floats it in around the boards. Axelson picks up the puck, rings it high off the glass. Has Lorenza far side, short pass to Paddington. Looks for Malkasian. Malkasian unable to control it. Near side in the Toro zone. Batten goes across for Ty James into the neutral ice as James shovels it forward around the boards deep in the Bruins zone. Working the other way is Melgren. Melgren with Owens right on his side. Owens now had positioning taken away by Lipset. Lipset with Hubert Clark in front of him, able to angle it away. Clark, but his pass goes all the way down the ice to the Bruins zone, where Melgren will get there first. Melgren has Evan Malkasian. Malkasian floats one into the air, too far out in front of Beckwith. Back into the neutral ice for, Parker Newman will head off. Bruins have it back deep in their zone. Melgren across far side for Ryan Lunds, up to Beckwith. Now to Malkasian. Malkasian into the Toro zone on the left side. Drops it for Day. Day pushed back by Parker Newman. Beckwith on the puck. Now down. Sabulis gets a hit. Comes out in front. Shot up the far side for Reynolds. Reynolds gets it to Malkasian. Tries a shot. Tipped out in front. Mazenko never saw it. Beckwith with Fleming on his back. Beyond the goal line up against the far wall. Comes free for Leo Sabulis. Sabulis spinning away from Malkasian. Looks up. Trying to find Noah Gibbs. Long shot from Reynolds was blocked by Jochum. Sabulis pushes it into the neutral ice as Malkasian spins it back. Now up the far side for Trace Day. Day shovels it around the boards for Svantesson. Svantesson centering a pass, got tipped out to neutral. Nathan Williams on the puck. Williams given space as he'll fire one around the boards. John Small steers it back for Connor Toohey, working around Cherry. Toohey now up the ice toward the center of the ice, pushes forward for Spencer. Back to Toohey into the Bruins zone. His shot high off the glass, out in front. Middendorf with the chance as Axelson was out of position, but the Bruins have it back as they reset behind the net of Axelson. Far side for Sprates. Sprates working away from John Small as Lorenza has it back. Dekes out John Small and now begins up the ice. He's got Sprates. No, he doesn't. Sprates couldn't handle the pass and unable to get a stick on it as icing goes against the Bruins with 16:01 to play in the third period. Icing brought to you by Minot's Finest Collision Center. There's the shot from Connor Toohey, a little high, and Middendorf almost got the rebound off the glass out in front with Axelson sprawling out. Drop to the left now of Axelson. Jesse Yahala in the circle with Hirschfeld. Stays in the circle as Yahala hits the deck. Hirschfeld tripped him up a little bit there. Hirschfeld spins it back into the Bruins zone, up the far side into the neutral ice. Ohanesen fires one down to the corner, takes an awkward hop back in on Axelson, who hands to Williams. Williams looks up into the neutral ice. It's Hirschfeld. Hirschfeld leaves for Sprates, spins it down to Hirschfeld. Centering pass comes up top. Long shot out in front. And Hirschfeld couldn't direct one in on net, went just wide. Taken away by Jack Ohanesen for Billy Batten. Batten out across the blue line. Can't get through a defender as Sprates is able to take it back for the Bruins. Fleming recovers in the neutral ice as he'll send one well up into the air. Finds the netting just above the glass in the far corner with 15:12 to go in the third. They'll bring the faceoff to the Austin Bruins logo at center ice. 15:12 to go in the third. Fleming has it back, directs it to Adam Mahler. Mahler up for Parker Newman. Newman into the neutral ice. Newman moves into the Bruins zone, crashes in, shot kicked away. Landon Fleming tries a one-timer off the boards, but it's blocked once again. Bruins have it in the near corner. Moving up the wall is Reynolds. He's able to find Lipset. Lipset for Malkasian on the right wing. Taps one down beyond the goal line. A loose puck is picked up by Beckwith, but now Adam Mahler's able to wall off Beckwith. Puck battle down in the near corner as Lipset is able to win it as he pokes it free. Lipset moving up the wall. He's hit by Adam Mahler, taken over by Parker Newman. Newman fires one in, goes beyond Axelson, but the Toros were getting a change. Lipset moves up into neutral. He's worked on by Noah Gibbs. Toros have it back. It's Hubert Clark in the Toro zone. Up to the tape of Sabulis. Errant pass tipped by Beckwith and out of play with 14:08 to go in the third. Last touch off Beckwith, so it should be a drop in the neutral ice. Neither side having much pressure here early on in the third. Austin's got 3 shots to the Toros' 1 as Jordan Gibbs goes off the wall, and Braden Jockums will send it in deep to the Bruins zone. Axelson directs it near side where Noah Gibbs is able to jar it back beyond the goal line. Cherry has it with space far side. Short pass comes back to Svantesson. He'll chip it down into the corner, comes around the boards. Near side, it's Svantesson taking it back as he fires it right back around. Clark got a stick on it as Sabulis pushes it up to Noah Gibbs, and Sabulis got dropped by Svantesson. Puck down into the Bruins zone as Cherry starts up ice. That hit got a big reaction out of this crowd as the Bruins ice the puck with 13:27 to go in the third. Sabulis went to the bench after the hit, but it might be interesting to watch Leo Sabulis when he returns to the ice for his next shift. Gavin Middendorf lined up in the shooting hole behind John Small in the face-off circle, but the Bruins control it off the draw as Lund sends it around to the near side. Up the wall, and it stays in play down into the Toro zone. Connor Tui on it with Cherry bearing down. Tui behind the net of Mazenko, looking away from Cherry, who got a stick on it. Off Ian Spencer as Luke Malkasian keeps it in. Spencer flips it into neutral, put down by Williams. Williams gets it by Small, but onto the tape of Ian Spencer working on Lorenza. Small now far side into the Bruins zone for Gavin Middendorf. Middendorf turned off the puck in the corner. John Small rings it around, and it gets just beyond the blue line as Connor Tui couldn't handle it. Middendorf floats one off the glass. It'll come down for Axelson. Axelson looks around far side, gets by a couple of players, taken back in neutral by Adam Mahler. Mahler has Tui. Tui up off the stick of Ian Spencer, goes beyond the goal line in the Bruins zone. Yahala line out for the Toros as Williams races up the ice far side. Flips one in beyond the goal line, arm up in the air. High sticking the call against the Austin Bruins. Toros took it back, so the arm goes down as Sprate sends it back into the Toro zone. Mazenko out to greet the puck. He has Landon Fleming near side. Fleming moves up the ice for Yahala to Ohanesen as Ohanesen will sweep it into the Bruins zone. Comes into the near corner, taken back by the Bruins. Ohanesen on it, wraps around, and it's covered by Axelson with just under 12 minutes to play in the third period. A look at the replay of the chance out in front for the Toros. Once again, this time it's Ohanesen in the shooting lane. Look for Yahala to win it straight back and Ohanesen to get one in on net, but instead the Bruins control the faceoff. Malkasian clears the zone. Mahler looks back in front. He had his pass picked off. Moving forward is Dizdat. Malkasian back around for Dizdat. He whacks it around to the near side for Reynolds. Reynolds looks down the wall for Lipset. He had his pocket picked. Billy Batten racing forward. Batten gets to the puck, but he can't get a shot off as Reynolds is there defensively. Batten now pressing up Reynolds. Reynolds comes away with the puck, and he will float it well into the air. It's going to go down on the net of Mazenko. Mazenko forced to cover it up with Connor Beckwith crashing in with 11 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the third. Good play by Beckwith to force the draw in the Toros' defensive zone. Edwards line out on the ice. And Edwards going to be called off the draw. Chuck Owens will come in to take it. Owens and Svantesson face-to-face in the circle. And this time Svantesson is told to leave the circle, and Trace Day will come in for the Bruins. Owens wins it back. Jordan Gibbs retrieves, sends it around beyond the stick of Parker Newman as Ryan Lund gets it back into the Toro zone. Jordan Gibbs behind the net of Will Mazenko off the near side looking for Chuck Owens. Owens tied up with Luke Malkasian. Comes back into neutral for Melgren, who finds Fantessen. Lund in on net. Mazenko will play it out to the side for Jordan Gibbs. Gibbs, short pass into the slot for Edwards, has Owens into the neutral ice. Chopped down by Fantessen, but still moves into the Bruins zone, far side. Gibbs angled away from the puck, comes free to Trace Day. Day moves forward for the Bruins. He has Luke Malkasian. Good stick from Kevin Perreault to knock it free, but Malkasian's back on it. Beyond the goal line, comes out to Day. Day into the slot, shot, he whiffed, and Perreault moves away with it. Puck jam free as the Bruins have it back. Malkasian near point for Reynolds. Reynolds goes across. He's got Dizdad. Long shot blocked off the skate of Cherry. Malkasian out in front, centers the pass. No one home for the Austin Bruins as it floats down the ice. Under 10 minutes to go in this one. Mazenko can't steer it around. Centering pass out in front as the Toros knock it out to the boards. Dizdad sweeps one in near half wall where it's picked up by Paddington. Lipsat looking into the slot. Paddington shovels it forward. Jordan Gibbs now with Cherry jousting for the puck. Cherry into the skates of Jockums in the high slot as Jockums is able to clear the zone for the Toros. Jockums walled off in neutral as Noah Gibbs will flip it up down into the far corner. Sabulis now back on the ice after taking a big hit on his last shift. Spin toward the slot, but the Bruins avoid disaster as Riley will float it down to the far corner. Ty James on it, gets away from Paddington. James to Sabulis. Sabulis hands off for Jockums onto the skate of Ian Spencer in the neutral ice. Spencer turning away from Paddington, had it taken off his tape as Hirschfeld moves back into the Toro zone. Hirschfeld up the wall for Williams. Slides it across Dizdad. His shot, save made. Rebounds comes out beyond the goal line. Huber Clark had it for a moment. Hirschfeld takes it back. Bouncing puck comes up. Williams, one-timer, finds the glove of Mazenko. An outstretched arm from Mazenko scoops it up with 8:39 to play in the third. As we hit a media timeout, Toros still trailing by 5. Shots on goal have not gotten any better for the Toros. Austin 43-20 in that department. Should be noted that last night Bruins outshot the Toros 51-29, a pretty big margin there, but the Toros picked up the win. Doesn't look to be the case tonight as we take a look at the Central Division standings. You see X's next to the Bobcats, Toros, and Bruins. They've all locked in their playoff spots, and they've actually all locked in a top 3 seed as Aberdeen continues to fight with St. Cloud for that final playoff spot. If this game goes as it looks like it will go in favor of Austin, the Toros will be tied with the Bruins at 79 points. Toros will hold the tiebreaker, which is wins. They'll have 39 wins to the Bruins' 37 wins. In all likelihood, if the season ends with the Toros and Bruins holding the same number of points, Toros will continue to have that tiebreaker, which will give them home advantage in the first series of the playoffs. That is, if the Bruins and the Toros are 2 and 3. Face off in the Toros zone. To the left of Mazenko, as Billy Batten able to poke it free off the circle. Batten around the board. Sprates gets in there. Batten back on it near corner in the Toro zone. Working through a couple defenders. Stays in on the half wall as Hirschfeld works it down beyond the goal line for Sprates. Mahler takes it away. Kept in far point. Shot wide left. Up the near side. Lands in. Fleming gets there. Sprate pushes him down. Riley for Hirschfeld. Backhands one in. And Sprates had a wide open net, but he couldn't put the puck in. Comes up, kept in at the far point. Hirschfeld, one-timer, kicked away by Mazenko. Melgren spins one around the boards, comes up on the far half wall. Lund tied up with Adam Mahler. Puck stays there. Yahala retrieves and clears the zone for the Toros. Melgren finds Sprates as Sprates swivels it off the wall. Mahler takes it back. 7:43 to go in the third. Batten starts up ice near side with Cherry right on his back. Around as Dizdad beyond the goal line, sent back in the Bruins zone. Cherry now takes it into the neutral ice. Cherry up the near side, gets by Jordan Gibbs. Comes around beyond the goal line where Connor Toohey will turn it around. Toohey working away from Cherry. Passes up far side for that's Parker Newman. Newman can't get by Malkasian. Toohey retreats back, gives it to Jordan Gibbs. Now back across for Toohey in the Toro zone. Up for Chuck Owens. Owens in the slot. Pushes it forward for Connor Toohey. Toohey moves into the Bruins zone, into the far corner. Walled off by Dizdad. Newman retrieves the puck. Has it taken away by Cherry. Tied up on the blue line is Edwards and Cherry. Poking it free. Parker Newman comes out for Chuck Owens. Owens has Jordan Gibbs. Back for Ty James in the Toro zone. Up to Chuck Owens in neutral. Couldn't keep it. Bruins have it back. Reynolds off the end of the stick of Malkasian floats beyond the goal line in the Toro zone. Ty James able to work near side. Starting up the ice into neutral. Trace Day clawing away at it. Comes free for Williams. Pushes it back toward the neutral ice as Sabulis looking for Perreault. Newman now off the wall for Noah Gibbs. Gibbs turned away by Beckwith, but Perreault's able to help him out. Perreault now far side up top for Ty James. His shot gets tipped off the glass and comes up into the neutral ice. James takes it back for the Toros with Trace Day on his heels. Leo Sabulis knocks it off the wall, comes down in the far corner. Williams spins it around, taken by Jochums beyond the goal line. Jochums hits the deck. Van Tessen looked like more of a slip from Jochums there. Comes around behind the cage of Axelson. Up into the neutral ice is Beckwith. Mahler in front of him. Inside's Van Tessen. Backhand shot. Blockers away by Mizenko. Puck right under the broadcast booth as it comes across for Trace Day. Day fires one into the netting with 5:20 to go here in the third period, as the Toros have not been able to find a spark all night long. Face-off comes out to the neutral ice. John Small, Ian Spencer, Gavin Middendorf, Landon Fleming, and Adam Mahler out there for the Toros. Does look to be a formality at this point. Toros down 5 with just over 5 minutes to play as Ian Spencer is poked in the face by Sprates pretty quickly after the face-off. Sprates is going to head to the penalty box with the high sticker, is he not? Ian Spencer is showing the head officials the proof, and yes, Sprates will indeed move into the box with the high stick. Toros to the First Western Bank and Trust power play, where they will try and end the shutout. Spencer looks to be all right as that one got under his visor. Yahala wins it back. Spencer skates in, grabs the puck, has space. Spencer now drives into the circle, gives it back to Jesse Yahala. Up top for Adam Mahler, over to the right wing. Jack O'Hanneson, he fires one inside, looking for a tip from Ian Spencer. Yahala swings it around the boards. O'Hanneson picks it up far side down to the goal line. Batten falls to the ice as he tried to get it into the slot. It's now taken away by Williams. Williams, space on the far side, drives in on net. He falls, and the post comes undone from Will Mazenko. Nathan Williams out of control, driving in toward the goal. A couple of Toros on his tail, but Williams was already going down to the ice, colliding with the post. He looks like he's a little bit shaken up. The door opens for the Bruins penalty box, but I don't believe there's any call. .443 to play here in the third. 90 seconds remain on the Toros power play. Bruins control the faceoff. Back for Ashton Bynum. Bynum turns it back toward the Toros zone. Adam Mahler has it. Mahler now starts up ice. He's got Jesse Yahala in neutral. Yahala near side moves in across the blue line. Down into the corner. Bynum gets there. Bynum able to keep it on the half wall. Comes around off the ledge. And the Bruins are going to clear this puck down to Will Mazenko. Halfway through the Toros power play, Toros are going to change lines as Mahler has Middendorf working past Hirschfeld. Middendorf across the blue line, working right to left, stops, has Small. Jordan Gibbs, a hard one-timer, comes wide left. Middendorf looking away from Beckwith, just beyond the blue line, as Jordan Gibbs gives back to John Small, far side. Small waits for his men to get on side, but it's poked back into the neutral ice right after Small took it into the Bruins zone. Jordan Gibbs moves back across. He's taken off the puck as Beckwith clears it down the ice. Mazenko grabs it, and Hill holds for Jordan Gibbs. 14 seconds remain on the man advantage for the Toros. John Small up the far side. Hands to Braden Jockums. Jockums far half wall. His shot comes wide. No one on the back post would have been able to direct it in as Axelson was out of position. Beckwith, a long pass across for Lipset. Lipset into the Toro zone, tries a shot, blocked out in front, stays beyond the goal line. Connor Toohey stopping on a dime to get away from Lipset. Under 3 minutes to play. Comes back for Toohey. Toohey pushes it forward for Jack Edwards. Now it's Parker Newman into Edwards. His shot gets blocked by a diving Reynolds. And Malkasian able to take it back from the Toros. And he looks back beyond the goal for Dizdad. Short pass to Reynolds comes all the way down the ice. This should be icing against the Bruins, and it is after a delayed whistle there. 2:29 to go in the third. Icing brought to you by Minot's Finest Collision Center. Take a look at this pass scoring chance for the Toros. Out in front, Noah Gibbs just pushed away by Lipset. That was a pass looking for Gibbs' back door. Gibbs gets his stick on that, and the Toros would have scored their first goal of the night. Drop in the Bruins zone as Day comes up into the neutral ice. Day has Evan Malkasian. Malkasian floats one in for Day. Couldn't handle a bouncing puck. Newman back on it deep in the Toro zone. Comes for Hubert Clark off the end of his stick. Chuck Owens skates back. Sends it off the wall far side for Parker Newman. Left there. Toro's able to take it into the neutral ice, but the pass too far in front of Chuck Owens. Albert back where it's taken by Malkasian. Walled off by Hubert Clark. Comes back down into the Bruins zone. Moving forward is Elbert. Tries one in just to the left of Mazenko. Ty James takes it back. Gives it to Hubert Clark. Clark working into the neutral ice. 1:45 to go. Elbert takes it away. Jockums gets tangled in there. Noah Gibbs tries to take it back, but he's taken off the puck by Elbert. Elbert sends it back down into the Toro zone. Malkasian and James looking for it. Hubert Clark has it for the Toros. Gets it up for Noah Gibbs. Gibbs sweeps one across off the skate of Sabulis. Trying to drive in. Centers a pass. Noah Gibbs not to the point there. Looking for Gibbs on the back post once again as the Bruins ice the puck with a $1:14 to play here in the third. Faceoff comes down in the Bruins zone. Leo Sabulis set to tangle with Svan Tesson. and comes down deep in the Bruins zone, taken by Reynolds. Reynolds spins away from Noah Gibbs, and he will send one down the ice. This is going to be another icing against the Austin Bruins as Connor Toohey wins the race down the ice. 62 seconds to play now as icing is brought to you by Minot's Finest Collision Center. In the period, shots favor the Austin Bruins 10-3. 3 shots on goal. Not what the Toros were looking for, even down 5 to finish this game. You want to pick up some momentum. Going back home for another 2 against the Austin Bruins. Haven't been able to do so. A faulty draw. That's a shame as Noah Gibbs had a terrific look with a quick snapshot off the faceoff. Jockums and Cherry. Gibbs lines up in the same spot. Toros draw up the same play, comes out to the side. Noah Gibbs and Reynolds face-to-face as the Bruins clear out to neutral. Toohey takes it back. Up for Braden Jockums. Jockums across too far out in front of Noah Gibbs. Final minute of play brought to you by Northern Plains Equipment as Jockums pass out in front of the stick of Leo Sabulis, and this time it's the Toros that are called for icing with 43.1 seconds remaining here at Riverside Arena. It's been all Austin Bruins all night long from the jump. First goal came 7:45 into the game. 3 goals in the final 4 minutes of the first period created separation between the Bruins and the Toros. Jockums takes it forward, pushes to neutral. Jockums hits the deck, still staying physical with under a minute to go as Malkasian will take it back beyond the goal line. 30 seconds to play. Reynolds back off the wall for Dizdad. Dizdad off the skate of Lipset. Toohey resets behind the net of Mazenko. 18 seconds to play. Ty James up for Parker Newman. Newman to Chuck Owens, center of the Toro zone, into the neutral ice for Jack Edwards. Edwards chips it down to the corner. 6 seconds to go, and that should just about do it as Reynolds walls off the puck, and the horn sounds from Riverside Arena. The Austin Bruins shut out the Toros 5-0. As the Bruins draw even with 79 points, Toros still hold that tiebreaker, so they'll stay in second place in the Central Division as this series moves back to Minot next weekend, March 28th and 29th. These two sides will face off once again. We'll be back with the Farmers Union post-game show after this short commercial break.
At Northwest Tire, we have tires for everyone. Needs tires that are reliable and safe to get her family where they need to be. Needs a tire that's heavy duty for all of his off-roading adventures. Needs tires that can get him from point A to point B. No matter what you drive or your budget.
Northwest Tire keeps you rolling down the road.
Lucky for us, life is full of choices, big and small. They define us, make us who we are. And when it comes time for you to choose a car, home, your next big adventure, or start a new business, Farmers Union Insurance has the variety of coverage options to protect each perfect moment. Farmers Union Insurance. Contact your local Farmers Union Insurance agent today.
The puck, the net, the crowd, the moment. A chance to make history. Just like that perfect play, we're here to help you win at your financial game. At Great River Federal Credit Union, we offer competitive rates and innovative technology designed to empower you to achieve your goals. Become a member of Great River and score a $100 bonus when you use promo code Hockey100. Visit greatriverfcu.org/Hockey100 for details and open your account. Member NCUA.
Back.
Evan Epstein back alongside Kobe Brault for the Farmers Union postgame show from Riverside Arena in Austin, Minnesota. The Austin Bruins take down the Minot Minotauros 5-0 in a very lopsided battle. Toros did not have much left in the tank over the final 20 minutes of this game, putting up just 3 shots on goal.
Yeah, and it was tough. The end of the first period kind of was backbreaking, as we mentioned last intermission report. But yeah, tough one, like we said, only worth 2. Still got second place due to the tiebreaker, so could be. And as we get a live look in here out at the VFW, if the Norsemen could finish the job tonight, we're all Norseman fans tonight. If the Norsemen can finish the job, then we're right back where we started to begin the weekend.
Yeah, that's the one thing these two teams can agree on. They want a Norseman victory out in Bismarck. And I think the problem for the Toros as they move back to Minot is really not just the fact that they got shut out 5-0. You look at the shot differential, not just tonight, but last night as well. Tonight, 46-20 in favor of the Bruins. That's a plus 26 shot differential. Last night it was 51-29 in favor of the Bruins, plus 22. They outshot the Toros by 48 this weekend. That is a big number.
Large margin there for sure, and something that the Toros are the ones typically doing that to other teams. But if I know one thing, I know head coach Cody Campbell watches more film than maybe anybody on the planet. So he'll watch this back. He'll find some tendencies to exploit as we shift this back to Minot. And I think Friday will be very telling with 4 points left on the line against these guys in the regular season. If the Toros can get that Friday night win at the Mesa, get that place rocking, keep it full on Saturday, I mean, you're still looking at the potential to take 3 or 4 as rough as tonight was. Still got a shot at 3 out of 4, and that's what's most important.
And how many times have we said starting early is going to be a key for the Toros? I mean, it's a pretty obvious key for everyone. You get momentum on your side. Either on the road, you take the crowd out of it. At home, you get the crowd into it. But I think particularly in the way that they lost tonight, getting blown out, and it just wasn't a close game, striking first is going to be huge back at the Mesa Arena. You don't want the Bruins to come out and continue this type of performance that we saw here tonight.
Yeah, and you mentioned it a few times, Evan, in the third there about, obviously the score was a little out of reach, but just getting something positive heading back to Minot. Toros unable to do that in the third. But, yeah, regroup, long bus ride back, a lot of time for the boys to think, and a lot of time for the coaching staff to talk. And, we'll get a few days between now and this upcoming Friday, but I can't wait to get back to the Pepsi. I know it'll be rocking, and like you said yesterday, pretty much every game the rest of the season, biggest game of the year, so that continues on Friday.
So we'll pay off some Forebears over-unders here. Toros' first period goals goes under.
Yep.
And then
Fighting Majors also went under.
Fighting Majors went under at one point. It looked like it might have gone over. Sabulis getting in the mix a little bit. And total empty net goals also goes under. No need to pull the goalie. Down 5 for the Toros. So back-to-back nights, we go under. Unfortunately, it is Ken Oda that has the winner, and we do not. So we will try. We'll set it up on Toros All Access.
Yeah, we'll get in contact with you. No worries.
Toros have won 2 Central Cups. That was the answer.
No, it was who had the first hat trick.
That was last night.
Yeah, who had the first hat trick against the Bruins, and I can confidently say that I do not know that answer. So
I do not either. So, once again, we will reach out to you if you won that prize. But with that, we have a 9-hour drive ahead of us. So we're going to wrap it up here from Riverside Arena in Austin, Minnesota. For Kobe Brault, Grace Sandy, I'm Evan Epstein, wishing you a wonderful rest of your evening. Toros return home next Friday and Saturday at Mesa Arena. Make sure to buy your tickets as they take on the Austin Bruins. Once again, good night.